Happy Saturday, everybody. Captain Coder here. Royal C-Dub Gaming, I'm so sorry I missed your countdown. I was out in the other room getting myself a cup of bean water, running a little slow this morning. I'm a little bit off of my normal streaming schedule. I've been super sick, but I'm getting better. You can probably hear it a little bit in my voice. I can feel it a little bit in my voice. So I apologize if there's a little bit of a congestion or any sort of a sniffling or snorting happening. I apologize. I apologize if you have to suffer through that. But I'm feeling much better. We'll see how long I can go today. Probably only going to go for 3 hours today. I know Saturdays I usually go a lot longer. But I think I'm going to go 3 hours just to ease myself back into the streaming. But happy Saturday, everybody. MMO Pug, good morning, my friend. I'm so glad to see you on this beautiful day. Still want to do those giveaways. I figured out how to do the giveaways on Discord, so we're going to start doing them on Discord just because that's a little bit easier for me. Maybe we'll even do one today. We'll see how it goes. Sidjian, thank you for the reverse countdown, my friend. -1, -2, -4, -8. You missed in 1632, 64, 256, my friend. Happy Saturday, everybody. Woomy over from ITC Studios. Good morning, my friend. How the heck are you, Woomy? So nice to see you. Royal C-Dub Gaming, my friend. I hope that sad face isn't too bad. If you're going live later, that's exciting, my friend. Everybody, if you gotta go check out some Royal C-Dub Gaming. Let's see, Royal C-Dub. Do I have that? There we go. Aspiring indie game developer, 3D artist, and flight simulator champion, folks. Go check him out. Enjoy that nice stream. We also got Amit over here. Yo, nice to see you, Captain. No, Amit, it's nice to see you. It's nice. Well, I can't see you. It's nice to see your username, though. It's nice to see your username. Woomy, I'm doing fabulous this morning. I'm feeling so much better. I missed not streaming. There was like this big gaping void. There's this big gaping void that I filled mostly with sleep and cough syrup. Mostly sleep and cough syrup. But yeah, I had a horrible cough. My voice was completely gone last Sunday and Monday, essentially, and I've just slowly been recovering here. Gordienko Games, so nice to see you, my friend. Happy Saturday to you. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world. I hope it's a beautiful day. How the heck are you? Woomy says, glad you're feeling better, and I can imagine wishing you a speedy recovery. Doing quite well, thank you. I appreciate that. How have you? Oh, I already asked you how you've been, Woomy. But it's nice. If anyone who doesn't know, Woomy is the artist behind my intro screen. Let's look at that intro screen real quick. Isn't that some beautiful pixel artage? Yeah, and we also got some dancing cups there. This is these dancing cups. That is Woomy's pixel art, folks. Woomy, fabulous pixel artist, friend of the channel, amazing streamer. If you haven't seen ITC Studios, folks, developing a game, a 2D action adventure role-playing game. Anomaly. You got to check out that stream. Click that little link. Give Woomy some love. Folks. ITC Studios, thank you so much for being here on this beautiful morning. Hit that heart. You see that heart there? Got to give it some love. Folks. Go check it out. Good stuff going over there. Woomy, so happy to have you here on this beautiful Saturday. Let's see, what are we working on today? Some people might be a little disappointed. We're not doing Unity stuff today. I know. We are working on a class project. As you guys know, I am a computer science educator. Captain Coder is a computer science educator. I teach computer science and programming today. Royal C-Dub says I may start a new game today. Ooh, exciting! Did you finish your escape room game, Royal C-Dub Gaming? But yeah, I am a computer science educator. I teach at a school for ages 10 to 14. I teach computer science and programming. I am teaching I'm not teaching a Unity class this term. Last term, so the whole reason I was learning Unity, the whole reason I was doing Unity stuff was my students asked me, hey, can you teach a Unity class? And I said, well, I got to learn a little bit more about Unity to be able to teach it well. So I spent the last couple months learning Unity, taught a Unity class. Now I'm not teaching a Unity class this term. That's not entirely true. I'm teaching a class called 3D level design in Unity, but it's not a programming class. It's just a class in which students are making, where's my crazy marble game? Students are gonna be making levels for my crazy marble game. So I've given them the whole crazy marble game and they're using that as a base and they're building levels on top in that. So they're learning about Pro Build. It's an 8-week course. So it's a very, very short course. It's only eight days. So it's 8 weeks, 1 day a week. Students are learning about Pro Builder. They're learning about Cinemachine. They're learning about NVIDIA physics. They're learning about the input manager. Some very, very simple stuff. Very, very little code. In fact, I call it a no code class where they're just using things that I've already built. They're using those to model their own characters, their own levels. So they're sort of like a drag and drop system for doing that. Ahmet says, Captain, do you have any experience on X Delta or Delta patching techniques? I have never heard of X Delta or Delta patching, so I apologize. I'm not familiar with them at all. Let me see if I don't think so. Delta patching. Royal C-Dub says, I'm starting a new video game. Gotcha. What video game you looking into playing, Royal C-Dub? Oh, you're on pause since your computer's out of space. What is Delta patch? I'm looking up. I pulled it off to the other screen. Delta patching. Delta X Delta patcher. Let's take a look at X Delta. Simple front end for X Delta allows you patches without messing with the command line. Command line pro for Delta encoding. I don't know what that is. Gotcha. That sounds interesting. No, I've never heard of X Delta. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it at all. It seems to be a utility here. Is this X Delta? It's like is this the thing that you're referring to for doing ROM stuff? I'm not sure what it is, but it brings up this software here. X Delta is the command line for encoding this here. Never heard of it. Ahmet says it's actually for my game launcher project. Clients only downloading needed part of the game instead of downloading the game every time game gets an update. Interesting. No, I've not heard of it. Delta patching. It makes sense though. So the idea of Delta patching where you don't have to download the whole game makes sense to me. Yeah. Mr. Natural, checking your point. Still in 8th place, my friend. Still in 8th place. So nice to see ya. Real C-Dubs game saying Fortnite, but the kid-friendly Fortnite. Interesting. That's right, folks. Mirasonic Rex is an astounding indie game developer working on a genre-bending game inside a game. It's a game inside a game. And this is the game you've returned to an old game project, so you take on the role. You take on the role of a character who is a developer. You come back to your game, and the game has taken on a mind of its own, folks. Give Mirasonic Rex, I can never say it right. Give her some love, folks. Excellent developer. Yeah. Mr. Natural says, was afraid I slipped, been busy lately and lurking. Well, so I haven't actually been streaming. So I've been away for a week because I've been really sick actually. I was so sick last week. I've just been napping a whole lot. Real C-Dub, as always, my friend, have a beautiful day. Keep coding, keep growing, be the best you can be, and you are welcome back anytime, my friend. Hope to see you next time. But yes, what are we working on? Captain Coder is a computer science educator. So we are this semester, I'm teaching a class that's just a plain C# class, not a Unity class. And so I wanted to hop in and see if I can make a generic. I learned about something called MonoGame. So MonoGame, if you've heard of Pygame, reminds me a lot of Pygame. It's a very, very lightweight, little tiny lightweight game engine that I'm going to be checking out. And to check it out, I'm going to implement a very simple, hopefully very simple, MineSweeper game. The grumpy game dev is here. Grumpy game dev, folks. Happy Saturday, grumpy game dev. How the heck are you on this beautiful day? I've missed your stream. Your streams have just been a little bit too early for me because my sleep schedule, I got so sick. My sleep schedule got a little bit off. Your entry to DC Jam uses MonoGame. Oh, gotcha. I did not know that. Yeah, I just learned about MonoGame. It seems like a really nice, lightweight little tool, little framework for doing games. And so I'm hoping to utilize it for my C# course that I'm teaching this term for students to implement some very simple UI stuff. Very simple UI stuff. I don't want to do any crazy UI stuff. Maui was like way too intense. It needs to be cross-platform. Maui like required giant tooling. It'll give you the ability to render the screen, the ability to take input and play sound effects. Yeah, that's essentially all I want. Very simple, but give you control to do some stuff. We don't need to be doing anything fancy. And Unity is just such a heavyweight program that it doesn't run on all of my students' computers. Works on both Windows and Linux. Awesome. That's essentially what I'm looking for. So to do it, and if I didn't say it, Radar, welcome back, my friend. Happy Saturday. So nice to have you here on this beautiful day. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. But we're going to see if we can implement a very straightforward MineSweeper game. You imagine to work on Mac? Yeah, I made a little tiny thing just to see if I get text on the screen, and then compiled it and checked it on Mac, Linux, and Windows. And it seemed to work. So I was pretty happy with that. So it seems to work. The one thing that it doesn't compile for, and it kind of does, is it doesn't compile for the web. And that's okay. So that's one reason I really like Unity, is its WebGL builds are solid. Because they're using WebAssembly when they build it. They're not using JavaScript. So it's like blazing fast WebGL builds with Unity. That's something that is a major plus in my book. All right, but let's hop in here. I want to implement a terminal. So we're going to implement MineSweeper two ways. We're going to write a MineSweeper library. Then we're going to have a console sweeper. So we're going to have a console-based MineSweeper game that uses our MineSweeper library. And then we're going to do a MonoSweeper, which is going to be a MonoGame version of MineSweeper. And then if I get crazy, we'll do a Unity sweeper, in which we'll do a Unity-based MineSweeper game. But we're gonna look at and explore how to make a MineSweeper library that can be reused in a couple different places. That's the goal. Ooh, you should use the Spectre console library. I've heard really good things about the Spectre library. Maybe we'll look at that. That's a good idea, actually, Grumpy Game Dev. You know what? For reminding me to do that, the Grumpy Game Dev, not the Grumpy Game Dev. 50 points to you, my friend. Thank you so much for the suggestion. We're going to check that out, actually, when we go to do our console sweeper game. I think that's a really good idea. And we also got Aries here. Aries, how are you today? It's so nice to have you today. Mr. Natural asks, I missed a bunch of the last Dungeon Jam streams. Is that game playable somewhere? Yes, it is. I should probably create a little command for that. Again, I've been sick, so I haven't been doing anything. If you want to check it, it's a little rough. But if you want to check out the Game Jam, the Dungeon Crawler, we did a game called Harmony. It's pretty confusing. But good luck with it. I'm hoping to go back, clean it up a little bit, but I'm going to wait until the Game Jam ends, then go back and I'm gonna massage it a little bit, make it a little bit nicer. I really enjoyed putting it together, but it is very confusing. Ye old Taurus King, I welcome you today. Ye old Taurus King, how are you, my friend? It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you on this beautiful Saturday. How the heck are you on this beautiful Saturday, my friend? All right, so we're gonna start by implementing. So I have four libraries because four .NET projects. Mr. Natch says, that's okay, I'm a little confused. Well, get ready to be really confused. Okay, so the idea with MineSweeper, for anyone who doesn't know, what is MineSweeper? Does anyone not know? Is MineSweeper, it feels like people haven't heard of MineSweeper before. MineSweeper is this game. You've probably seen it, but it's the game in which you have like a grid and you click on it and you get numbers that tell you how many bombs are next to a spot. All right, so the grid has a bunch of bombs randomly placed in it. And then you have these numbers tell you how many bombs are touching a space. And so we're gonna implement a version of this. And so it should be pretty straightforward. I don't know, I've never made a MineSweeper game, but we're gonna do a console version of it. In fact, we're gonna do a library version of it in which we have a MineSweeper game that is agnostic to any sort of interface. Grumpy Game Dev says, did you know? And the answer is probably not, but I'm gonna read the rest of your question because I don't know anything. Captain Coder's a simpleton. The MineSweeper games on Windows, MineSweeper game on Windows does not generate until you make your first move so that it can guarantee that you cannot get blowed up on your first move. That's a genius idea. That's a genius idea. I didn't know you couldn't get blowed up on your first move. My game should probably do that, but it's not going to. But maybe it will. Maybe it will. That's actually not a bad idea. Minesweeper game that doesn't blow you up. All right, so we're gonna start. What are the goals today? What do I want to try and get done today, folks? What am I gonna do today? Well, the first thing is we want to implement a sweeper board / generation. So we want to be able to generate a sweeper board. And I added a basic game loop terminal inputs. I probably want to expand this a little bit to have like some 2 strings and blah, 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 some extra stuff. But basically I want to see if I can get a terminal based version of Minesweeper working today. So we're going to hop in there. I'm going to see if we can do that. So I'm going to start by renaming this sweeper board. Sweeper board. Sweeper board. And so we're going to talk about, and this is me over engineering everything, but what are the properties that a sweeper that a sweeper board has here? Public. It's gonna have like a width and a height. So you know me, I like my rows and columns. Oh, maybe I should implement here. Let me add in my Captain Coder core library real quick. We're gonna add in Captain Coder core so I don't have to re-implement position again. Let's go find that GitHub Captain Coder core. Repositories. I should probably put this into, well, I wonder if I've made changes since, one sec. Let's go look here. CD Game Jam. Sigian says, this game's like a drug. When you wait loading for compiling project or something else, you play it and it takes more time than you think what you wait. It take more time than think what you wait. I don't quite understand that last little bit. I'm sorry. I think you're saying that it takes more time than you think it will while you wait. Something along those lines. All right, so let's go into our Captain Coder core. We made some changes to this, but I think we gotta merge this into a main. Git checkout main, git merge, DC Jam 2023. Yeah. So we did make some changes to this library here. It's definitely a time to. My other thought was to make a solitaire game, so like a card-based solitaire game. But with the drag and drop on that one, it felt like it'd be a little bit trickier, and so I decided like the input controls for a terminal version of solitaire I thought would be pretty hard. G says, oh, I thought you meant you weren't streaming tomorrow, but it's today. Yay, that's right, G. I am back. The captain's back, at least for today. I'll be back tomorrow too. Today and tomorrow. And probably Monday. But I gotta figure out what my new schedule looks like. So I have a new set of classes this term. So my streaming schedule is gonna be a little bit different. I think it'll be really hard for me to stream daily like I was doing before. So I think it's gonna end up being probably 5 days a week. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think is what it's gonna be. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think that's what my schedule is gonna be. I'll let you know. We'll find out on Tuesday whether or not I'm streaming. We'll find out on Tuesday, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's gonna be. Sunday, Saturday, Monday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm pretty sure that's my new schedule. Illuminati. I don't remember if I said hello, but hello. Hello, Illuminati. How are you on this beautiful day? Let's look for our core library, actually. Let's get our core library. We're gonna add this to this project. I need to put this in here. Copy that. We've got Dev Row in the house. Man, the whole crew is here. The whole crew. Get submodule add. Is that what it is? There we go. Add that submodule and git status, git add, git status, git commit, and I did some extra stuff here. Mchore add captain coder.core. There we go. Deborah asks, hello, Captain. What are we up to? We are working on, so I have a new set of classes. So I'm working on a class project. Working on a class project myself. So in this class, they're going to implement, actually, I'm going to provide them with pretty much everything for a MineSweeper game as like an example. And then they're going to be implementing another game. So I'm not sure on what game they're going to implement, but we're using MineSweeper as an example project in that class of how to do a MineSweeper game for the console, and then how to structure it in such a way that you take the sweeper game as a console game and turn it into a UI game using MonoGame. So I want to check out MonoGame on this project. That's essentially what I'm going for. Illuminati says, I'm taking a uni course, so I'm happy I started to code myself. That's awesome. That's awesome. What are you doing in your uni course? How long have you been doing it? I'm just curious. Oh yeah, that's good. I accidentally put exclamation there too, so you can see I'm new, but it'll work. That's okay. Exclamation points. That happens. Oh, Illuminati, I'm so sorry. That one should definitely not be banned. Illuminati said gamedev.tv course for the last 2 weeks. Gotcha. I need to add game dev. Hang on. Well, let's see. Stream Elements. Stream Element strikes again. Let's see if I'm still logged into Stream Elements. I haven't gone over there in a while. Let me see if I can whitelist that URL real quick. Bear with me, folks. Grab your bear and bear with me while I whitelist it. Illuminati, I'm so sorry that my bot got you. We're going to be switching that bot out hopefully relatively soon. Why is that? Link protection. Allow list. Let's do gamedev.tv. There we go. That one should be in there now. I'm activating ChatGPT 4. Yeah, it doesn't like it's annoying. I wish it had a better set of whitelisted URLs by default. It doesn't have any. It just blocks them all by default, which I suppose is a reasonable behavior. All right, but we're working on a MineSweeper game. So in MineSweeper, what are the properties that we need to expose? So what I like to imagine is, what are the things that the MineSweeper game, if you were writing a UI for it, what are the methods that you're going to want to be able to render that on the board? Also, one sec. Is my break timer, did it reset properly? It did. Fabulous. It doesn't always reset properly. I think it's if I leave it on too long, it doesn't reset properly. But we're gonna come in here and we're gonna see about that. So definitely wanna know the reason that's right. I wanted to be able to do the position. So my Captain Coder core library, so we're gonna go into our Captain Coder MineSweeper, git add reference. We're gonna add a reference to our Captain Coder.core. So we want our core library here, Captain Coder core. All right, because our core library could not. Captain Coder is in submodule Captain Coder.core. There we go. Core Captain Coder core.cs proj. Fatal path. Captain Coder is in submodule Captain Coder core. That's annoying. I don't know, is in submodule. I've added references like that before. I would really like for maybe I haven't. Do I just have to build this and move the DLL over there? So I haven't referenced it that way before, I don't think. I think I've always done a .NET build and then added in the DLL. Maybe we'll do that just because I don't know how to get it to reference it. That's interesting. All of those warnings. That's why that wasn't part of main yet. Ooh, I should not have merged it into main. Proton says, Catterday, fun day, mound day, Tuesday, little Catterday, free day. Oh, I love the little cat puns there. Proton Fig, folks. Proton Fig, everybody. Welcome, Proton. It's so nice to see you. I've been missing the heck out of your stream. I got to get over there again soon. I've just been so sick. I haven't done much of anything except play dungeon crawlers and sleep. I slept a lot. I did, and my first week of classes was last week, so I felt like I couldn't take those off. So I was teaching, and I was still sick. It was kind of a gross week. Folks, for if you don't know, Proton is an astounding Commodore 64 coding guru, musician, and graphician, a legend. Absolute legend. Got to check out his music. Check out his stream. Check him out. Just go over there. Check him out, folks. Give him a shot. Proton, how is your journey into Unreal going? Have you done any work in it? I know you were talking about getting to Unreal. Lumen Science says, making the game is easier to use this terminal for me. Is it easier to use than the terminal? I'm a big fan of the terminal. I'm a little bit annoyed that I can't add console MineSweeper. Can I .NET add reference? Can I really not add a reference this way? Core. Can I do that? Captain Coder Core. Captain Coder Core. Okay, let me add it that time. All right, so I think I just had to do a build. I had to do a build first. You did a 27.5 hour stream, Proton. How did you even? I'm glad. Whew, that's a lot of hours. That's a lot of time to stream, my friend. How did that go? How was your 27.5 hour stream? Are you okay? Are you okay? All right, how long? Oof, when did you do that? I did miss it. I can't believe I missed it. Illuminati says, I'm too happy with the user experience of GitHub Desktop. Oh, I can't stand. I know I'm not in the norm. I love the terminal. I can't get away from the terminal, folks. That's wild. Proton, I did a lot of things. I'm glad you made it. That's a crazy long stream. I'm glad you're doing all right. We also got Lance. Welcome back, Lance. I'm doing beautifully well. Lance says, good morning, everyone. How are you feeling, Captain? I'm doing fabulous this morning. A little bit of a thing in my throat. I'm very, very happy to be back. I've missed streaming very, very much. Darkman says, yo, Darkman, I heard you finished your game. How, correct me if I'm wrong, how did it turn out? Feel free, let me get you one sec. Permit Darkman 103. Go ahead and post a link to your game if you got it, Darkman, if you'd like to. You don't have to, but I saw that. I think I saw you finish it. Proton says, during the last 2.5 years, I have had 3 over 48 streams. That's wild. That's a long stream. Darkman says, good to see you back. Yeah, I'm glad to be back, my friend. I am so glad to be back. G says, I can't even wake up half the time, for half that time. I can't even be awake for half the time. That's what I'm saying. I can't be, 24 hours is too long for me to even be awake. That said, on the Friday, I think I let myself get a little too sick on the game jam. The Friday before the game jam was due, I think I did about a little bit more than 24 hours. So I woke up at 3 a.m. and then I went to bed at like 5 a.m. the next day. So I think I was awake for 27-ish hours that day. It was wild. Darkman, sharing your game here, folks. Darkman made, let me get that open here. Dark Monster. Darkman, thank you so much for sharing your game, folks. Dark Monster, you and your friend go to check on a friend, but something happened and you are trapped in house, and your goal is to get out alive. Ooh, this looks good. I'm gonna save this for later. I'm gonna play this on the Discord. I'm gonna stream it on Discord if that's okay with you. I will tag you when I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna check this out. Thank you so much for sharing, my friend. I'm looking forward to it. Great work. So happy to hear it. Lance says, that's good to hear. Glad to have you back, but also good that you got time off. Still working on my ship tools. They're working good so far. Glad to hear your ship tools are coming along. Yeah, it was a little bit too much for me. It was almost too much time off. I was getting super restless. I would have started streaming on probably Thursday, but my voice is just, it's still in recovery. You could probably hear it. It might sound a little strained right now. So I'm not gonna be able to stream too long today. I can already feel it sort of starting to wear down a little bit. And so I just don't want to overdo it. So I'm gonna keep this stream relatively short. Hopefully we can get a MineSweeper, base MineSweeper game in the console working. Spectre, I gotta remember to get Spectre here before I forget. Spectre console, Spectre console, C#. Before I forget, we're gonna bookmark this because I want to remember to do this. As I've been looking into it for a while. I've been wanting to do it for a while. Okay, folks, if I missed something in chat, just let me know. I know there's a lot going on in there. I'm trying to keep up with it. I struggle with it sometimes. All right, but we're looking at the sweeper board here. This is our core MineSweeper library. And the idea here is we want to think about what is the interface that we want to expose if we were going to be drawing a MineSweeper game. What are the interaction that we want with it? So I'm going to start out, and this is why I added in the Captain Coder core. Using CaptainCoder.core. This is what I was doing here. I wanted to do in a public int rows, and it's going to be a getter. Private set, public int call, get private set. And these probably don't want to have a get and a set on them. These probably just want to be a get, like that. Proton says, composing and arranging music coding. I've even played some games. I don't know if I heard you. I don't know if you responded to it, Proton, but I was really curious. And if you did, I missed it. Have you been doing anything in Unreal Engine? I know you had mentioned it previously, but our sweeper board here is going to take an int rows, int calls, and then the last one is like the number of bombs, mines. Maybe I should call it bomb sweeper so I don't get in trouble. But we're just calling it sweeper. Sweeper, rows, calls, mines. And we're going to do rows, calls, come on, rows. Let's get rid of this. I hate the autocomplete sometimes. It really drives me nuts. Mines is equal to rows, calls, mines. Like that. Public int mines. Okay, like this. Okay, rows, calls, mines. These are the number of rows, the number of columns, the number of mines. There's one little check we got to do here. We're going to make sure there's enough rows and columns to fit that number of mines. So we're going to actually make this have a little check here. And so we're going to say int, we need at least one space, right? Let's see here. So the total number of spaces, we need at least one free space. Grumpy Game Dev says, did you know the reason Microsoft included MineSweeper with Windows was to teach people to left and right click with the mouse, which was a new thing in computing at the time? Ooh, that is fascinating. I did not know that, but that makes sense because of the right click to change, to mark it with a flag. Ooh, that's really, really clever. The Grumpy Game Dev dropping us some knowledge. The Grumpy Game Dev for your contributions to the universe, to society, to the stream, my friend. 50 more points to you. Thank you, Grumpy Game Dev, for that info. That's a nice little tidbit. I'm going to share that with my students. Because that is a fantastic little tidbit of information. So we're going to say, though, if rows times columns is less than mines, because rows times columns is the number of spaces we have. If it's less than the mines, then we can't build the board, right? And Solitaire was included to teach people to click and drag. Oh, that's fascinating. That is fascinating. I still struggle with click and drag sometimes. Things don't always make sense to me for clicking and dragging. That makes a lot of sense. Back with Windows 3.1, I used Windows 3.1 without a mouse for a really, really long time. And I actually didn't use Windows 3.1. Did I use Windows 3.1 a lot? I had a computer without a mouse with Windows 3.1. But I did have it with a mouse too. That's interesting. But I'm a big terminal person. I use terminal for lots and lots of things. See, rows times columns is less than mines. Then we can't build this board. and it should be like rows and columns, mines plus 1, because we need at least 1 free space. Let me think about this. So if we have 5 rows and 5 columns would be 25, and then mines, if mines is 25, that'd be invalid. So 24, if it's less than mines, yeah. So if it's less than, yeah, if it's less than mines, hang on. If mines, I'm gonna swap this around because my brain can't handle it. If mines is greater than or equal to rows times columns, then it's invalid. Yeah. So I had it right the first time. Less than rows times columns. Then we have an invalid throw. New exception. I should probably do a good exception. Argument exception. An argument exception cannot construct sweeper. We'll do name of sweeper board with mines with more mines than spaces. All right, which isn't quite right. I should probably come up with a better one there. Stygian says, and games for double click and scroll wheel are. Grim gives it looks like a job for min function with the math class. A min function. What would I be using the min function for here? What am I using the min function for here? I'm actually making it so that you can't construct a board here. I could use a min function for something maybe. I'm just saying that I'm just not going to allow people to build stuff. Rows and columns -1 and not throw. No, this is a great way to teach students about like exceptional behavior. I don't like silently allowing something because it's a little, I like teaching students about throwing exceptions this way. I personally, I'm deliberately throwing an exception saying, hey, this board is it's when you construct something, it's not a reasonable board. Another option would be to have like a static thing that's like try construct board, and then it will like give you an error message back saying why it couldn't construct it. Proton says, you asked about Unreal and I haven't proceeded with it yet. Gotcha. I had several things to take care of and I want to do things quote unquote right. I have to watch some learning material first. Gotcha. Grumpy says you're going to do a less than or equal 0 check for mine. Such boards are also invalid. Good point. We also got to do a couple more things. We're going to say if mine's less than or equal to 0, throw new argument. Great. Oh, Grumpy, this is such a good one. This is one of these like exercises we'll do in the class. We're like, well, what makes a board valid? What are the exceptional cases? This is a really good thing here. Cannot construct board with 0 with no without mines. And I should do this. Cannot construct name of sweeper board without mines. With 0 or fewer mines. Perfect. Grumpy Game Dev. Man, you're on fire today, my friend. The Grumpy Game Dev. 50 more points. You, Christoph Howard in the house. Christoph, hello, my friend. Happy Saturday. How the heck are you on this beautiful day, my friend? How the heck are you? Okay, that's a good one. Same with rows and columns. If rows less than or equal to 0 or calls less than or equal to 0, throw new argument exception, cannot construct name of sweeper board with 0 or fewer rows / columns like that. But yes, Grumpy Game Dev, thank you so much for calling me out on that. I think that's an absolutely important thing to add in there. Okay, beautiful. These are the type of things you don't always think about. It's good to make students aware of this sort of thing in the game. You know, it's not necessarily an important, like 100% necessary. I'm glad you're doing pretty good, Christoph. It's so nice to see you here. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so now that we have this, so we talk about like, what is the public facing API here? So we got rows, columns, mines. I think I'm gonna rename this to columns like this. We'll rename this to columns like that. Mines. Okay. So what is our sort of public facing API for interacting with specific things? So let me think. So one of the ideas is public, and this is just a public I'm gonna do, we need something here, but I want to like examine a position. And so like, what is the return type of this? Examine, and it's gonna take in a position, and it's gonna return something. It needs to return to us either that it's unrevealed or that it's revealed and that it has a number. So unrevealed or revealed and has a number. So it kind of is indicative that we want to, we could do the following. We could return an int, all right, and we return negative with it. So we could do a special encoding like this: returns -1 if unrevealed, revealed, or a positive number. So that's one option. I don't know how I feel completely about that. This would be like a nice little, what I would call a hack, a special encoding for this. It might make more sense. This might be a good choice for a good time to do something like might be a good opportunity to do something like this where we return a bool. I don't quite like this, but we could have an out here, out int value. Yeah. So Grumpy Game Dev, this is like what I'm trying to, like, what do I want my students to learn? Do I want them to learn about the out here? Do I want them to learn, okay, we're going to create a new class for it? So this could be a little thing that says like examine returns a Boolean that says whether or not the cell is revealed and gives you back a value otherwise, or do we want them to implement a class or a struct that is sort of like the result of it? And so let's look at some options here. Yeah, this definitely is like a weird way. So we could talk about like the different ways to do it. Sijian says, new sweeper board int max 10999. We need a supercomputer for playing it. Yes, a supercomputer. You could also just crash your own system. Completely valid option. So another option might be to use introduce like a record here. Grumpy Dev says, in real life, I do not often reach for an out parameter and would comment negatively in a code review if I saw somebody using one without a very good reason. I almost only use them as try methods. So for access methods. So it'd be like try, get, sell. If you know that you might pass in a position that's not valid or a move that's not valid, that's really the only time I would use it, and it returns a Boolean. So this would be indicative that you're wrapping it. Yeah, that you're wrapping it with a try catch on the inside. So I'm just thinking through those things. So like, I agree with you that the out method parameter is probably the bad choice. But what we could do would be something like this: public record. This might be a good spot for a very, very simple record type that has something like this: board cell, bool is revealed, and int value is revealed. So so there's like extra information here. So like a board cell is revealed, is bomb, and int is value. Are sort of some ideas I have for it. What is this saying? Public record, it's not defined. Oh, that's right. We have to add in, if we want to use records, because we're compiling this. Are you allowing flagging with question marks? Yeah. So there's all this information that we sort of have to like have stored in here. Yes, I would like to add flagging with question marks. That's a good point. Absolutely, a bool is a great way to do it. So one of the things that we want to work through though is like, okay, so again, with the teaching process, it might start off as a bool is revealed, and then you elevate it saying, oh, actually, what is the state? What is the status of this thing? I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah, so let's create a new file. This is going to be an enum. I have to add in this thing too. I always forget how to add this in, so I'm just going to go steal it from my Captain Coder core. This is our is external init, so I'm going to just copy this here into our MineSweeper. This is a little annoying thing that we have to do to use records if we want to on a project. So I've defined this project as a net standard 2.1 so that it can be sort of put in many different projects, from a MonoGame to a console game to a Unity game. So we have like this core library here with net standard 1 using language C#11, so we get all the cool language features. But to get records, we basically have to define this thing because records want that. And so that'll allow us to have a record here. The enum is a great option here. So we're gonna do a public enum. I think this is a beautiful way to do it. I'm gonna call this a board state. And we're gonna have a unknown revealed flagged unknown revealed flagged, and then we could potentially add some more stuff in here. And then bomb, would bomb be a value that we want to be in there? I don't know if like once we find a bomb, you're done blown up. So I'm gonna leave that as a thought there. But this will be our board cell state here. Grumpy Game Dev, awesome suggestion. Cell state. We're gonna call this state. We'll do if this might even be like cell state int value neighbors. All right, so int and value's not quite right. Neighbor minds, like neighbor count is almost what this needs to be. If someone has a suggestion for a better name than neighbor minds, please let me know, because I don't like this name, but I can't think of anything better at this moment. Daniel of the Dark. It's Daniel of the Dark. Daniel of the Dark, my friend. Happy Saturday. How the heck are you on this beautiful Saturday? I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world. In the morning. I was gonna say wherever you happen to be in the morning. Wherever you happen to be in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, my friend. All right, so this is going to return to us a board cell. And if it's out of bounds, it'll sort of be an exception here. Okay, so I don't exactly know what this is going to do for now. So we'll do a null for now. This is also a good opportunity to do a record struct. A struct feels reasonable here. It could be a class, it doesn't matter all that much, but the struct itself, it's a really small data type, so a struct would be okay here as well. So it might be an opportunity for me to talk about like, well, what is a struct? What makes a struct? What would be a good struct or not? Daniel of the Dark, cleaning my room at 5:50 a.m. I'm coding at 5:50 a.m. It's 5:50 a.m. here too. It looks like we're in the same time zone, my friend. Same time zone. Okay. So in this case, I think this is what I'm going to use for now. And I'm a big fan of read-only things. So we're going to do a read-only record struct. Not that it matters, because these are read-only anyway, like that. Grip says, you may decide to make your enum with the flags attribute and have revealed, flagged, and bomb as the flag values. Would I want it be a flag? So flags implies that I would be able to have you're saying and bomb is a value there. So flags is implying that I want to be able to have it be in more than one of these at the same time. So let me think about that. Because revealed, flagged, and bomb, I definitely think revealed and bomb feel like they could be at the same, would be the same. So the one thing that, so let me think about that. So flags implies that I want to have this be possible to be more than one at the same time. Otherwise you have a challenge with 0 as neighbors and where a bomb is. So my thought kind of is if it's a bomb, you lose. As soon as you reveal a bomb, you lose, right? And so the idea is you would never have a revealed bomb. You should never be, I guess you could have a revealed bomb because at the end of the day, it would reveal them all. This is where like an interesting design process happens. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Daniel says, my room is dirty. So my brother, because we share a room, asked me to clean the room while he goes to bed. And I said, sure, because I'm nice, younger brother. You will have at most one revealed bomb. Yeah. Well, at the end of the game, you might end up revealing them all, right? But yes, you'll have at most one revealed bomb. And my thought is that could be like an exception where when if you click on it, you die. You know, it's over at that point. That said, from the like games standpoint, from like the UI standpoint, it kind of the board cell. We kind of want to know whether or not we are a mine cell anyway. Just whether or not it should be revealed, unknown, flag. So like what symbol should we put there? And so part of me is thinking, oh, you know what? Bomb is actually a reasonable state here, because if it is a bomb, at the end of the day, the API doesn't care that it's a bomb. It's going to be important to be able to display that information anyway. I don't know if I want flags on here. Because you shouldn't be able to be unknown and revealed at the same time. I think you want to be one of these four things. You either want to be unknown, revealed would be implied that it's revealed and that it wasn't a bomb. Flags implied that you've flagged it, and bomb implies that you revealed it and it was a bomb, or the game is over and there's a bomb there and you're showing that information. So I think I don't want it to be flags, because I don't think you should be able to have more than one of these. Unknown might just be a bad name though. So this is sort of like, I think this is pretty solid. In my mind, you shouldn't be able to have more than one of these though. So I think I'm gonna leave the flags off of it. In my mind, that makes sense. I could be wrong though. Dramulks, I'm so sorry I missed you there. Happy Saturday. It's so nice to see you, Dramulks. How's your game coming along, my friend? How the heck is your game coming along? Yeah. And I also have to consider how much new stuff do I want to throw at my students all at one time is the other thing. I want to show them good design stuff. Smap says, should revealed be blank or space maybe? My other thought is like, blank. I gotcha. I understand what you're saying. Unknown. Yeah. So this would be empty. It's supposed to be a relatively simple example. I want to show them good practices and some new things. For example, records. I kind of want to like they've known about classes, they've known about interfaces, they've kind of seen enumerated types, though they are a little confused by them. Hopefully not too I don't know why enums are so confusing to students sometimes. But empty seems like the right thing here. So unknown, flagged, empty, or bomb. I think these are the different states. Yeah, and then so this board cell makes sense here then. So we have a cell state where we have a board cell, we have a cell state, and then the number of neighbor mines. Okay, I like this. Dramel says it's going okay. I know that Dramel and Smab, I don't know if I said good morning to you, but it's a good afternoon, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Smab says cell state is display state rather than the contents. Yeah, it's almost like a cell info or something along those lines. Yeah, this should be what the player knows about this, like cell state. Maybe cell info would be a better name for it. This is where like naming becomes semi-important, but cell info could be a good name for it. Yeah. But happy Saturday. It's so nice to see you. Info sounds worse. Gotcha. All right, we'll go with cell state. But yeah, this is the display state. Did you maybe cell display state? It feels like too many words, but maybe not, because we have a board cell and it has a cell display state and then neighbor mines. Although maybe it should just be called display state. It should be like an internal enum type of the cell. Yeah, I'm not sure. And maybe I need to get rid of sweeper board and just call it board at this point. So it might be that I should just call it board, display state, and this could be cell. And then this would be an internal. It might make sense to just make this internal like this. Can I do that? There we go. So this might be the like correct structure because the display state is tightly coupled to a cell. So just from like a structure standpoint, this would be a nice little thing too, because now students see, oh, you can nest a thing inside of a thing and then you refer to it this way. I don't know if that's a good practice or not. What do people think about that? All right. So now when we examine a position, the idea, okay, so now we're able to examine a position and sort of get an idea of that cell. So the idea is we're basically going to iterate through and examine all of the positions of a board to be able to draw it onto the screen. So this is an important thing to be able to render this board somewhere. The board itself's not going to know how to render itself. That's going to be part of the console sweeper app or the MonoSweeper app. This is just sort of the quote unquote library that we're writing to do it, to maintain that information. So we have an examine cell. We sort of want to have a game state. So we'll add in another enum here, enum board state. And so we sort of have like plain, blown up, or win, right? So those are like sort of the different states we can be in, whether or not we are still playing, we've blown up, or we've won. And so the reason I want to add this in, and maybe I'll just call it state, maybe call it game state, I'm not sure, board state, would be that we want to be able to ask the question, well, what is the game state? Public board state. We want to ask the question of like, is the game still playing? All right, so when we start out, we say that playing is the initial state we have. And then as we make moves, all right, so as we make moves, it sort of will tell us information about the game. Public board state reveal, and we're going to give it a position here. And this is going to perform that move and then return what our game state is. And for now, I'm just going to say that we're playing. So the idea is we're going to reveal a position, and then we'll know whether or not, if we revealed a bomb, we done blown up. And so this will have information on, this will basically tell us like, well, if we're blown up, the way that the render should render things should be to not care about this so much, but instead care about the neighbor mines. Okay, I'm liking this so far. Is there any more public methods that we really need to be able to play the game? I think examine's the big one. I think reveal is the thing that actually like performs the action. Smap says, when working how to separate the class here, I like to build a model that can be played headless, then any UI render states don't get intermingled. Exactly. That's sort of what I'm going for here. So you'll notice over on the left side here, I have a bunch of different projects. I've got my base, my core game, my Captain Coder MineSweeper. This is going to be like the core library, has no like player. Then I'm going to implement a console version of it. And then I'm going to implement the MonoSweeper version of it. So ideally, I'm going to have all of the logic contained inside of a library here. So this idea of headless is exactly what I'm going for here. So I'm trying to think whether or not I need much more than this to be able to do it. And I think that's sort of it. I think that's sort of it at this point. I might add in some like helper stuff that is like, oh, well, you know, examine, I could get an iterator that tells me all of the things that are currently revealed. So that might be nice to have, like, I can think of some helper methods that would be nice that show me things like get me all of the states that are empty or flagged. That way I know what to render on the screen. But this should work okay to be able to loop through all the positions. Yeah, I think I like this. So the question is, okay, internally, what is the representation of the game? Okay, so the internal representation is going to be, I believe, a 2D grid of cells. A 2D grid of cells. Cell array. We'll call this cells, like that. And this sort of needs to get initialized with a bunch of mines in random locations. Lance says, yes! Total geek moment here, but I have drift turns and direct input turns working, so you can toggle the behavior when releasing controls, maintain a turn until you specifically apply additional force, or stopping the turn until you provide more input. Fantastic. Fantastic. That sounds awesome, Lance. I'm looking forward to reading a update of you on the Discord relatively soon. So when we construct this thing, I like the idea that Grumpy Game Dev said too, as well, as like, we don't actually generate any of the mine positions until we actually click on something. So I think I'm gonna steal that idea, because I really like not making it so you don't die the first click. I really like that. But when we construct this thing, we're gonna give ourselves a new cell array of rows and columns here. Okay, so it's going to construct a default one, and then I want to do I'm gonna have a little boolean here that says is generated. All right, so is generated. It's going to be here. Darkman, welcome back. Lance also says there are a couple new images there, but I will see about putting a quick video snippet or something. Cool. I'll check it out later today, my friend. I'll check it out later today. And for anyone who's not on the Discord, folks, we do have a little Discord community. If you want to check that out, you can. No pressure, but people like Lance here post their adventures in programming. So totally worth checking out if you'd like to check out what other people are doing here. Yet another space game if you want to check out what Lance is working on. This beautiful space game going on here. Absolutely love what you're doing, my friend. Keep it up. Keep up the great works. Okay, Darkman says, I was making a breathing mechanic for your new game. Ooh, a breathing mechanic. Is your game like an underwater game or a space game? Tell me more about this breathing mechanic you're referring to. Okay, so our state here. The first time we reveal something, we're gonna make sure that cell is not the cell that we lose on, right? All right, so to do the first click, the first reveal will always be empty. I really like this, and thank you for sharing this with us, Grumpy Game Dev. Really appreciate this idea. First reveal will always be empty, and cells will be generated, and bombs will be added around that. Will be added elsewhere. Is elsewhere a word? Elsewhere must be a word, right? Okay. So internally, we're going to add in a private method here, private void generate, and we're going to take into position empty position like this. Okay. So we need to generate random spots and make sure that we don't. So I'm going to do a really cheesy way to do this, but I'm going to do a random generator. And we might do an alter. You know what? I'll make it so we take in do I want to do a Captain Coder iRandom here? That seems like way more effort. All right, we're just gonna do a silly random. Is that what I want? for testability, it might be nice to be able to specify where we generate things. That's okay. That's okay. Use the dice roller Dremel because that's it's a little overkill. It's a little overkill. My gut, my over engineering part of me says, oh, I should take in the Captain Coder iRandom random source here. Excuse me. I feel like I should take in a random source, but this feels like a lot. This feels like a lot. And then I'd be able to like test out how the random generation works, that sort of thing. I'm not gonna do that, I don't think. Yeah, that feels like overkill. Instead, we'll just get a random. That feels like a lot to teach a student about like the dependency injection like that. Random RNG equals new random. We'll just generate. We'll just get a new random generator like this, which is like semi okay. And then essentially, we're gonna generate spaces that I'm gonna keep track of. So we're gonna have a hash set of positions generated. And this is gonna be the positions that we've previously generated. And maybe there's a better way to do this. But we're basically just gonna say, if we've already generated something in that spot, just keep trying again, try again. So to generate is equal to mines. And we have this thing that says, while mines to generate is greater than 0. And then we're gonna generate a random mine. If we manage to generate one in a good spot, we add it there and then we do one less. Ooh, I got an even better idea. Better is probably not the right word. Generated.count is less than mines. Can we do that? So we're gonna say, well, we have not generated enough mines. Generate another one. And this generated, we're gonna start by adding in our empty position to make sure we don't generate that one again. And so is it less than or equal to? Yeah, less than or equal to, because we're gonna generate plus one. Master Chaos the Lake says, aye, Captain, how's it going? It's going beautifully well, my friend. Any day I can wake up and code is a beautiful day. I'm having a wonderful time here. We're implementing a MineSweeper game. So in my class, we're gonna do a class project where I'm gonna give them a MineSweeper game I'm gonna give them, it's gonna have a variety of things here. So I wanna have a full MineSweeper game. I'm gonna have unit tests for it. I'm gonna take some parts out, give them some parts, take some parts out, and we're gonna use this as an example of how to build a game and introduce them to creating a game that can be sort of as Smad put it, headless. So making a game that's sort of a library game, and then they're gonna create a console version of it, and then also a version in MonoGame. So we're gonna learn how to sort of break our projects down in sort of like this quote unquote model view controller. So this is sort of like the back end headless version of it. Right now it's just a plain C# project. We're gonna implement it in the console version once we have the sort of the quote unquote library done with it. Then we're gonna do it in a MonoGame version, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll make a Unity version of it. But the idea is to create a base version of it that can be used anywhere, portable, and then drop that into a couple different places to show how you would, basically why you might design a game and how to abstract the logic of what is the important parts, what is the data part, what is the model part, what is the view part, what is the controller part. Sort of trying to learn how to break that logic down. And I might even give students some freedom to say like, okay, well, if you have this base game, you have to implement a console version. If you know Unity, you can do it in Unity, but here's this MonoGame version as well. Because MonoGame is just a lot more lightweight than Unity. That said, I've not actually done anything with MonoGame. This is sort of my experiments with it. So that's what we're learning. I'm learning about it. What I'm learning about this week is learning a little bit of MonoGame. Master Cast says, nice. That's a very good way of teaching students about programming patterns. I'm trying. Look, I'm not the best teacher, but I am a teacher and I want to be a good teacher. So I'm doing my best. Smash says, what version of .NET are you using for this project? So the core library is Net Standard 2.1. MonoGame requires .NET 6. The console sweeper is going to be .NET 7. And then if they happen to do it in Unity, that'll be, so this will be another thing where we get to talk about like, oh, here's these different versions of .NET and what does .NET 7 mean? What is net standard? What is C# versus F#? And we've already started learning a little bit about that using Polyglot Notebook. So I've been having them use Polyglot Notebook, which is really, really cool. And so we've talked a little bit about C# and like, I showed them a little bit of F#, not much, showed them a little bit of F#, but Polyglot lets you sort of like intersperse C# code and F# code, and some of them know JavaScript. And so you can like have JavaScript variables tied into C# variables. Darkman says, are you trying to make the MineSweeper with objects or UI? I don't understand the question. There will be, we're going to do a library version of it. So this is like without a UI, and then we're going to add in a console version, and then we're going to add in a UI as well. So the idea is to build it with the interactions, the API well-defined, and then hopefully the UI becomes really, really easy. So we're focusing on the logical portion, so the logic, and then we'll focus on the UI, on the user interactions. So the idea is to separate those two things, which is often something that is forgotten. We just start coding something and it all sort of gets intertwined and tightly coupled and hard to abstract. Master Chaos says, you're doing great. None of my professors at uni did something like that. The best ones explained the theory greatly, but made us make the whole programs by ourselves. Yeah, so I think reading code is so, so important. So I want to be able to give them enough sections of code where they have to read and then like refactor. So I often like to give them code that's like kind of messy and gross that works and say, I need you to refactor this. So I've done in the past where I've given them like one giant program and said, find the logical components, abstract the methods from this. That's always a great exercise, is taking some code and refactoring it to be nasty and then asking students to, can you look at this, find the patterns and pull it out into other things. Okay, so take a deep breath here. We're gonna keep going. How much longer do we have till our break? We're getting pretty close. I think I can finish my concept for this generate method though. Okay, so the idea here is that we're going to create a random position. Int row is going to be rng dot next between 0 and rows. Int calls equals rng dot next between 0 and calls. And we're going to create a position, p equals new position. I overloaded this in this way. This shouldn't be called, this should be columns, like that. And then we can just ask the question. We can just ask the question, if our generated dot contains p, we continue. I don't know why the cat's turned on, continue like that. So we say, if we've already generated this, skip it, don't add it in. Otherwise, we need to add it to our positions and, and in fact, we might even be able to just, this is interesting. This is an interesting thought. I'm not gonna do it that way. Otherwise, because I want them to learn about 2D arrays as well, or practice using 2D arrays. They already know about 2D arrays, but they're gonna practice it. Otherwise, our row column is gonna be equal to a new cell, and it's gonna be an unknown. And neighbor mines, is it really? I'm thinking about this. This should actually be, this is the display state. Really, this is just a mine. This should just be an array of Booleans on whether or not you happen to be a mine or not. That's really what it should be. So if you're a mine, you're true. If you're not a mine, you're false. So this should just be true. So we're going to turn that cell on. Master Chaos Alexis, my biggest complaint about my uni is that many times professors didn't give enough examples of what a good program looks like, with most of the logic extracted modules being independent of each other. Well, what I will say, I went to grad school, I was a graduate student. I was in a PhD program. I didn't finish the program, but from what I understand, what I learned was most professors don't actually want to be teaching there. It's just part of the job. They want to be doing research. And so unfortunately that leads to a lot of very poor teaching happening. I learned, don't get me wrong, I learned a lot in both grad school and undergrad, but I did have a lot of what I would refer to as stinky teachers. Teachers that I didn't feel taught particularly well. Maybe this isn't what I want here. Instead, maybe we learn about hash set. Because the grid thing here doesn't actually matter that much. Maybe this is a hash set of position bombs. Bombs, like this. I think this is actually like bomb positions. This is where the bombs are located. And rather than adding, well, we might just add our empty position in there first. All right, so we'll do this, bombs equals new. We're gonna add in the empty position. Well, there's not enough bombs, we keep adding bombs. Bombs dot add key. And in fact, I don't even need this contains anymore. Because it won't accept multiple things in there. The contains, I don't know, we might add it just for clarity. But what's nice is you can just keep adding these things until we get there. And then at the very end, we do bombs.remove empty position. We just say, okay, we'll take it out. We're gonna put it in at first. That spot can't be it. And then we remove it at the end. One downside here is we could potentially end up in an infinite loop. There's a minor potential to be in an infinite loop because we shouldn't be. It should be impossible to be in an infinite loop because of the way we defined our constructor. Let's see, nullable field bombs must be non-null when exiting the constructor. Bombs equals new. And then is generated equals false. All right, so we come out, bombs is new. So instead of doing a new one here, we're just gonna clear it like this. We add in the empty position, we loop through, and then we remove the at the end. So this is the logic here. This is the logic of how this method works for generating all of the positions. So this should be impossible to end up in an infinite loop, though my brain, I'm like logicking through it right now. Rows and columns must be less than mines. Well, here is less than or equal to mines. Master K says, I agreed. Agreed, I learned a lot too, but I feel like I grabbed a lot of useful knowledge from the wrong courses. For example, instead of learning patterns and architecture from software architecture course, I learned it from advanced Android and even grabbed a bit more. I will say that working on projects tends to be where you end up learning a lot of this stuff because it internalizes when you have to use it. Learning the theory is really good too, but if you don't apply it, it's never gonna like seep in, right? So it has to seep into the cracks, so to speak, a little bit. That said, we just finished this generate here. How far? And I think we should just take a break before starting a next method here. Because we're at 79. I don't know if we can completely finish a section here. The one thing I'm missing is whether or not we've revealed. We need to kind of keep track of whether or not we've revealed a position yet. Reveal, we also want a flag, public board state flag position. So this was the one thing that we want to do. This should just be avoided. It's going to flag a state. Flag a position, and It should probably be like a flag and unknown position. Because we unknown flagged empty bomb. Okay, so we also want to have private hash set position flagged. We need to know which positions we flagged. And then we also kind of want to have like a private so now I'm not sure position revealed. You know, so I'm working my way through this. And in fact, this is where like this display state is interesting to me. Maybe it should be a grid of display state. And it's almost like flagged empty bomb are the 3 display states and then unknown flagged empty bomb. You know what? I'm gonna do a private display state cell.display state array. Okay, so this is gonna be our grid, our cells. Okay, and so we'll do cells. It's equal to a new cell.display state rows calls columns like that. Okay, and we do need this to be okay. Hash set position bombs. I'll do this real quick. New hash set position. It's going to tell me that I need to put in my empty position here like that. Okay, we can get rid of that. I'm just going to rename it to bombs. We added in there, and then at the end we don't care about this. Instead of adding it in like this, okay. So now that then we need this if bombs dot contains p, do nothing. Otherwise, we add at that position, and then we do cells of row column is equal to bomb. Okay, like that. Yes. We kind of need to initialize all of the other states to empties. So I kind of want to do a loop where we initialize our 2D array here first. Private void init grid. And this will be what gets called here. The first time we initialize a grid, they should all be unknown, essentially. Init grid. To empty. No, it should init them all to empty. This is cell state. It is a display state, but there's sort of a difference between display state and the cell state itself. It is almost that we need like an is revealed, and then the actual state is one of these. So I kind of want to change this to state. State can't have it be state. Display state. And then I do kind of want bool is revealed. And it should be one of these things. Cell state, and we're gonna get rid of unknown. So really it's either empty, flagged, or bomb. Okay, empty, flagged, or bombed. And when we init the grid, really because empty is the first one, it should initialize with the default value there, but we're gonna just have this go through and initialize this for us just for peace of mind. Row is less than y. Row plus y. row plus plus. Oh, because I have a 4 each, it should be a 4. 4 in column equals 0, column less than columns, column plus plus, cells at row column equals cell state dot empty. Okay, so cell state dot empty like that. And so we'll know whether or not it's been revealed, and then the cell state itself. And really, it's almost like this is where like over engineering and design becomes an interesting thing, where you have to think through like, what should I do? What should I do in this state? And I'm gonna make this return a cell state array like this. And I'll return the grid, and then up here I'll just say that cells, I'm gonna rename it to grid, I think, equals init grid. We'll do, I want to rename this to grid. Okay, and then we set it to bomb. So it starts out empty. Part of me is wondering whether I want flagged here. Empty flagged bomb. Empty flagged bombed. Because the unknown part. All right. I think I'm okay with this. I think I'm semi-happy with that. So now we need a set of private hash set position called revealed. All right, so these are the positions that we've actually checked. Revealed is equal to a new hash set here. Generated is false. Did we set generated to true here? Yeah, so generated equals true. Okay, so this should hopefully become pretty easy. Examine becomes the following of, we're just going to return a new cell that happens to be reveal of the position, or is revealed. So we have a hash at revealed dot contains. And so I'll just create a bool here. Is revealed is equal to revealed dot contains position. Is revealed. The autocomplete there is driving me crazy. And then the actual cell state is our grid at position.row, position.column. And then we have to calculate find, we're gonna create a method called find neighbors of this position, or count neighbors. Create a method called count neighbors, and that's just gonna be a private method down here. Private int count neighbors position p, and we'll return -1, or I guess we could throw a not implemented exception. Throw new not implemented exception. There we go. That's really what we should do for each one of these. Grid at this position. Okay, so this sort of becomes a really easy method. The idea is all of your methods should feel really, really easy if your API is defined in a relatively straightforward way. All right, so the first time we reveal, we're gonna say if it is not generated, then we gotta generate at this position. And I'm just gonna call this generate I'm gonna rename it Generate Grid. Okay, I do have to take a break. We've been going for 90 minutes, folks. I'm gonna take a quick break. I gotta get some more coffee. I gotta get some more water. When I return, we're gonna keep working on this. We're gonna do some stretching when I get back. So get ready to do some stretching. Code Red Games, happy Saturday, my friend. It's so nice to see you, folks. For those of you who don't know, Code Red Games. Oh, Code Red, I have to do the whole thing. Code Red Games is a fantastic, absolutely amazing game developer. He's making a horrifying 2D Souls-like game. You gotta check it out. Roguelite, folks. Be sure to give it some love. See that little heart on the screen there? Click that heart, give him some love, folks. This gorilla will chew you up, spit you out, stomp you into the ground like a bug, but it'll beg you on, and you'll be begging to play more, I promise, I promise. Give him some love, folks. Code Red Games, thank you so much for popping in. So happy to be back. I shall be back momentarily after I get myself some more coffee, after I get myself some water, and we're gonna finish this sweeper game up, folks. Stay tuned.
Whoa.
DevOps with Brian has raided the captain today. DevOps with Brian, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. Happy, what the heck's today? Saturday. Happy Saturday, my friend, for giving me this beautiful raid. DevOps with Brian, 50 points to you, my friend. Thank you so much, Red. You're just in time, Brian. How was your raid? How was your raid? How was your stream? I just got back from my coffee. Got myself some bean water, some new bean water. Got myself some new regular water. And we got to take care of ourselves. The captain loves you. Hey, folks, did you know the captain loves you?
You in the back. Pay attention.
Pay attention to DevOps with Brian, folks. DevOps with Brian. Thank you so much for the raid, my friend. Folks. If you're not following DevOps with Brian, I'm not following DevOps with Brian. Look, real quick. Attention all lurkers. Direct your attention to the screen, please. We have a very important guest. Direct your attention. See that little heart button? Boom. Give DevOps with Brian some love, folks. Give DevOps with Brian some love. Hit that little heart. Hit that little heart. Because DevOps Brian, I'm so happy here. Did you know Captain Coder is me? I am Captain Coder, and Captain Coder is a computer science educator. I teach computer science and programming at a school for ages 10 to 14, and this stream is dedicated to learning and coding and growing together, folks. We're here as a community to learn and code and grow together. I am currently putting together a project for my students. I'm putting together a project for my students. We're going to be doing a MineSweeper. This is sort of an example project. I'm gonna put some exercises in here too. We're gonna do some projects for my students in C#. Low Fight Craft says, hey, can you code in C++? I haven't done a lot of C++. I can get by a little bit with my background in coding in general, but I haven't done much in C++. I'm hoping to do a little bit more this summer. Might take a look at some Unreal Engine. That said, folks, we've just been going for 90 minutes. We've been going for 90 minutes, and we gotta do some stretches. The captain loves you. The captain loves you, which means you should love you. And if you love you, you gotta love your body. And if you love your body, you gotta take care of it. And one way you can take care of it is getting up every hour or two, doing some stretch. If you're like me, you're out there, you're hunched over your computer, hurting your back, getting those RSIs, those repeated stress in here. So get on up, folks. Get on up. Please stand up with me. Please stand up. We're gonna do some stretch. We're gonna do some stretches. So get on up. Get on up. We're gonna get some stretching in, folks. All right. So take in a nice deep breath. Reach up, stretch up as high as you can. As high as you can. Just maybe get those feet shoulder width apart. Maybe a little bit more than shoulder width apart. Keep that balance and reach up and get some stretching in like this. Oh, doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel good? Monkfish Games, I do hope you'll do these stretches because they're so good for you. Just make sure you're breathing normally. I'm holding my breath here. I don't know why I always do that. All right. Oh, as high as you can. Now we're gonna take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly roll down, and you're gonna hinge at the hips. Hinge at the hips, folks. Don't arch your back towards the ground, but hinge at the hips, and you're just gonna hang here. Oh man, I've been sick this past week. Oh, and I haven't been stretching, and I can feel it. I can't touch my toes anymore. Oh, I've been doing so good doing all this exercise. We're gonna hang here for 15 more seconds. So just hang, relax, keep those legs straight, but don't lock the knees. You don't want that blood flow to get cut off. You don't want to faint here. It's just, yeah, hang there. Reach for the ground. It's okay if you can't touch your toes. Just love yourself. Get a little left. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. As you do, roll up slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to roll those shoulders up, back, and down. We're going to do some shoulder rolls next. And back. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4, full on. 2, 3, 4, roll it forward. 2, 3, 4, add the elbows. 2, 3, 4, full arm. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, doesn't it feel good to get that blood moving, get that body moving a little bit? All right, we're gonna stretch out our forearms because you don't want to end up with the carpal tunnel. You want to help prevent that carpal tunnel. I got carpal tunnel over here. It's a little rough. It's a little rough. That's why I have the kinesis. You know, you don't want to have to use a keyboard like this. You should be doing some stretches, taking care of those wristies, taking care of those forearms. All right, so put palms together and bring it down like this. If you should feel the stretch here in your forearms. It shouldn't hurt. If you feel any pain in your wrists or in your forearms, stop. We're gonna bring it down and push. If you still don't feel it, you can actually push it out and forward a little bit to, oh yeah, get that stretch in that forearm. We're gonna hold this for 25 seconds. Oh, it feels so good, folks. I hope it feels good. I love this stretch. I love stretching that forearm. It's one of my favorite stretches. Feels so good. Feels great to get that stretch going. Oh, just a little bit of tension though. It shouldn't hurt. It shouldn't hurt. Just take that stretch. Oh yeah. Doesn't it feel great? Oh, all right. Slowly bring it back up. Roll those wrists out. Roll those wrists out. All right, shake it out. And that's it. That's it. We're just gonna take a little bit of care of ourselves. And for joining me in those stretches, because I know you did. Here, let's zoom in a little bit. I don't like being so small in the bottom right corner. Let's zoom in a little bit. For joining me in those stretches, folks. For joining me in those stretches. 50 points to all of you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking care of yourself. The captain loves you. You should love you. And if you love you, you gotta take care of that body. We're gonna hop back in here. Let's reset this break. Break timer, folks. We're gonna go for at least another 90 minutes on this, and then I probably gotta stop because my voice, you can probably hear it. I have a little bit of congestion still, a little bit of a voice thing, so I'm still a little sick. I don't feel too bad. But folks, before we move on, we have two new members of the crew. Two new members of the crew. And you know what they get? They get their own little song. So DevOps with Brian. Thank you so much for following, my friend. We got DevOps with Brian following me today. Yes, DevOps with Brian. Welcome to the crew. Thank you for following me, DevOps with Brian. I want to thank you for following me. DevOps with Brian, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. And we also got Monkfish Games. Monkfish. Thank you for following me. I said Monkfish. I'd like to welcome you to the crew. Do-do-do-do-do. I want to welcome you on this beautiful day. I don't know what I do. I don't know what to say. But Monkfish, thank you for following me on this beautiful Saturday. Monkfish, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. For anyone who's new here at Captain Coder's Academy, Captain Coder is me. I am Captain Coder, and Captain Coder is a computer science educator. As I was saying, I teach computer science and programming to ages 10 to 14 at a school. It's my profession. I managed to make it as a computer science educator. It's was one of my dreams. And this stream is dedicated right now. I often will develop my classroom projects on this stream, and so that's what we're doing right now. So I'm writing a little MineSweeper game, writing a little library, as Smab put it, a headless library for doing MineSweeper, and then we're gonna add in a console version and then a UI version. So oftentimes we struggle to figure out how to abstract it in a way to do it like that, and so we're gonna build. Right now, we're building the logical portion of a MineSweeper game. Okay. And on my little break, I decided I didn't like this is revealed quite. So we have flagged and bombed. So we have a cell contents. So I'm gonna change this to contents, and it can be empty or a bomb. And then we can have public enum display or like display state. And this is gonna be unknown Unknown, revealed, or flagged. Those are like the different states that we could have on it. Unknown, revealed, or flagged. All right, and so this is gonna be our display state cell, display state like that. Okay, so those are the different spots here. And the idea is we have like these revealed states. I almost need to have a second set of contents. Clayman says, welcome back, Captain. How are you feeling? I'm feeling beautiful, my friend. I'm feeling wonderful. I've got, any day I can wake up and code is a beautiful day. Clayman Dev, thank you so much for popping in, my friend. It's so nice to see you on this beautiful Saturday. How the heck are you? How the heck are you? Is that Pie Dude says, you are beautiful. Thank you so much for that. The captain appreciates that. I like, this is, gotta get that hair nice for the folks. I appreciate you thinking I'm beautiful. I feel beautiful on this beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here, my friends. What a handsome man. Look at that. Look at that, exactly. Look at that. I love it. For those of you who don't know, Clayman Dev, an epic indie game developer working on a 3D physics-based superhero game, epic hero game, folks. You gotta check him out. Give him some love. Hit that follow button. Clayman streams every morning, Monday through Friday. Morning for me. He streams every day, Monday through Friday. Almost every day, Monday through Friday. Usually on a little bit before me, so I like to catch a stream in the morning while I'm working out often. But Clayman, so nice to have you here on this beautiful day. And we also got Ben the Rat Dev. Welcome back, my friend. Happy to have you in the crew on this beautiful day, my friend. I'm happy to be here. I still got a little bit of something. You can hear the congestion. I can feel the congestion, and I got a little bit of something, like a little bit of scratching. So we're gonna cut it short in about an hour. I'm gonna do two 90-minute sessions essentially, but I'm only gonna do two. Often on Saturdays I'll go quite long, but we're gonna cut it short here early. Okay, so I keep changing my mind. a little bit on the on how I'm doing, but I'm gonna change these to sell. Just a sell here. That's right, an immortal kid. It is real. The captain's back, folks. The captain's back. Clement says, what kind of workout you do? Calisthenics, lifting, running? I mostly do calisthenics, so I have this is a good question. I have with me in this room, it's a little hard to see here. Let me pull it out. I do a bunch of workouts on my Total Gym. I should get a sponsorship. But I actually have a Total Gym, folks. I should just move this set up in the background so you can see it. Total Gym is essentially doing some calisthenics. It's basically weight-based calisthenics. Can't see. Oh, I can't lift it up quite enough. But the Total Gym, folks, it slides, it moves. Use your own body weight against you. Excellent workouts. I usually do. I have a little algorithm. Maybe I'll show it to you guys sometime. But I have a little program that I do that I run, and it generates a 21 workout day program for me, where I'm sort of alternating between back, chest, legs, core. So every day it does a combination of I do a combination of 2 or 3 of those things, such that I get rests on the correct amount of rest between days on doing those workouts. So I had to make the workouts somewhat programming related, of course. But yeah, I use the a Total Gym, so it's essentially calisthenics. I need to get some more cardio, and I don't do enough cardio. But you know, you can't have it all. I guess I could have it all. But I try and do my best. All right, so we're gonna change this to our cell grid. And we're actually gonna initialize our grid here in this different way. I'm standing, so that counts as cardio. Exactly. So this is gonna be a new cell. Our revealed state should be unknown. So our initial state is unknown. The contents is empty. And the number, this is the problem. I don't know the number of mines that are my neighbors initially. So this is why I feel like I can't construct this here. We'll start with 0 though. The whole grid starts out with 0. Maybe we'll just calculate that. ahead of time once when we go. Clayman, go Captain, go. That's right, go Captain, go. I do got to get some more cardio in. I used to do DDR, so I have like Dance Dance Revolution pads. Maybe I need to start doing that again, which is a surprisingly, I wouldn't say like a hefty cardio workout, but you can get surprisingly sweaty and high heart rate on that. Are you adding a twist? No twist. All right, so an Immortal Kid, good question. So I am working on creating a class project today. I'm creating a class project. So I'm not teaching a Unity class this term. I'm not teaching like a programming Unity class this term. I'm teaching just a generic C# class. And so in this project, I'm having students implement, well, essentially I'm going to be giving them components of a MineSweeper game as examples to see of quote unquote design practices. There's going to be portions that they have to implement, but I'm also going to give them implemented portions. So they're going to implement a quote unquote headless version of MineSweeper. That's one without a UI, without a console. So it's just the logic. They have to implement the logic. Then they'll have to implement a console version of MineSweeper. And then they're going to implement a UI version of MineSweeper using the MonoGame. So there's a MonoGame, which is sort of a really, really lightweight game framework. I wouldn't even call it, maybe it's an engine, but super lightweight framework for creating games. And then on stream, we might actually do like a Unity version as well. Clayman says, I'm jelly to the Captain students. They basically have the best teacher possible. Well, I try and do as much as well as I can. I'm not going to say I'm the best teacher, but my goal is to give a solid, education on this programming stuff. I'm very, very lucky. I'm very, very lucky in that regard. All right. So we're going to generate the grid. And so this is actually going to initialize the bombs. Okay, and then, all right, so this will be a new cell.displaystate.unknown, cell.contents.bomb, and then 0. We're gonna keep it at 0 still. And then after we're done generating the grid, we're gonna fill in all of the neighbor numbers. We're gonna fill in all of the neighbor numbers at the end of this whole generation process. That is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so we generate the grid, we initialize the grid, we generate the grid, and then we're gonna go ahead and initialize the, count bombs. So one sec. I did something weird here. 0. Because we don't know the number of bombs initially, but then after we're done generating, we're gonna have a thing that says private void init bomb count. Okay, and this is gonna loop through and finalize the number of bombs in each position. So it's just gonna loop through every position, check all of the neighbors. And in MineSweeper, it goes orthogonally and diagonally count. And so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna loop through and say for, it's a little bit tricky. Okay. Yeah. Let me think here. So we would want to do for each, we're going to be doing this loop again. Init bomb count. So we loop through all of this, and then we're going to set the, we need to get the neighbors of this specific position, right? And so it might be helpful then to say for each neighbor, neighbor positions. All right, so private enumerable of position, neighbors, position, and we want to get all the neighbors of this position. So the base neighbor is int. Let me think through this. We want -1, 0, and 1. So then, all right, I'm gonna do this. one more time, but this should be -1, and this should less than or equal to 1. And I'm gonna row plus plus, column is equal to -1. Column is less than or equal to 1, column plus plus. So this is gonna go through all of, this is essentially a 3x3 grid, right? -1, 0, 1, -1, 0, 1. So it's a 3x3 grid. We're gonna say if, we're gonna create a position P equals new position, and it's gonna be our, I think I can do this. It's gonna be position plus row column. Okay, so we're gonna create like new position, neighbor position is equal to this. Then we're gonna say if our neighbor position is equal to position, continue. So we don't want to, it's not a neighbor if it's the same position. So in the spot where this is 0, 0, these will match. Then we're gonna say if, and we can do some better checks here too. So we're gonna say if row, actually we can't quite do that. We're gonna say if we're out of bounds is the other one. Monkfish Games, a Manhattan distance. Yeah. A Manhattan distance. Manhattan distance is, I don't know if we're doing Manhattan distance. Manhattan distance would be like the number of block distance. But yeah, we're calculating the Manhattan, like one. You're correct. You're correct. Manhattan distance. You're correct. Because it's the number of blocks you'd have to drive to get there. Yes. This is a Manhattan distance. Then we also want to say if neighbor position dot row is less than 0, or neighbor position dot row is greater than or equal to rows, or the Discord link is expired. Let me fix that. Good. I did not realize. That's fascinating that it's expired. I thought it was unlimited. Let me get a new one. It should be set. Why are you going to anything? Let's go to our Captain Coder invite. Thank you so much for letting me know. I had no idea. Edit invite link, unlimited, never expire. Generate link, copy. Here's the new link. I'm gonna update the chat bot real quick to fix that. Thank you so much for letting me know. That's crazy that it's expired. I have no idea how that happened. I must have set it to not have unlimited. I'll have to look in it, but I've changed the Discord bot there. 2 + 2 = 5. Thank you so much for letting me know that, and for letting me know for your contributions to society here. 2 + 5, 50 points to you for letting me know that there was an issue there. Jaden Joe Star, happy Saturday, my friend. Jaden Joe Star asks, is this a game jam you are doing? Not a game jam. I'm working on a class project. So I started a new term this past week. So I gotta start using the stream to be a little bit productive. Once again. And let me update on my Twitch page real quick. Bear with me, folks. I got to do a little bit of maintenance here to fix it. Okay, there we go. Should be fixed. Thank you so much for letting me know. Yeah, this isn't a game jam game. Instead, I'm working on a class project. So for my students, this is a project for my students to complete. Okay, so, and then this is similar neighbors. So we're just creating a MineSweeper game. Neighbors.position.calls greater than equal to column. So this is if we're out of bounds. We just continue. We don't return anything. And then finally down here it says this position is not us. It's within bounds. So then we're going to do a yield return neighbor position. So this should get us all of our neighbors. And maybe I'll make this public so we can write a unit test for it. This seems reasonable. Neighbors, neighbor positions. It might need to be something there. Jaden Joestar says, MineSweeper should be super easy for using Unity or Godot. Good. Yeah. We are actually implementing it as a raw C# library. So we're going to do a logic version of MineSweeper that has no interface, no console interface, just the logical implementation of it. Then we're going to implement a console version of MineSweeper using that logic. Then we're going to implement a UI version using MonoGame, and then I think we're going to implement a version using Unity. So we're gonna show how you can create a core game in such a way that you have all the logic built, and then create a user interface on top of that. So sort of breaking it up into the model view controller aspect of it. So that's the goal. That's the goal here. All right, so we're gonna init the bomb count. So we're gonna go through every position. So position. What might be nice is to have a public IEnumerable position positions like this, and this literally just returns an enumerator of all of the positions on the board, row, column. So that way I don't have to keep doing this loop here. So I'm gonna that's a nice little helper for me. So I'm gonna do for each position in positions like that, and I might make this just a getter, like this. I think I want this to be a getter. Format. There we go, and then we can just do positions like that. So now I can go through every position on my board, and then for every position I'm gonna do for each position neighbor in position.neighbors. I should make this part of the position class. That's interesting because I can do neighbors position. That might be a good spot to teach, like what is it called, the extension method. Say, well, position doesn't have this neighbors thing, but we can define a dot neighbors on it. But we'll do neighbors like this for now. So for every position, get the neighbor, and we want to say if that position happens to be, so we're actually counting bomb, neighbor bomb mines is equal to 0. It's interesting that I called them bombs down here and then mines in the mines up above. So I'm gonna rename this to mine, like that. Neighbor mines is 0, and we're gonna go through each of our neighbors. We're gonna say if that position contains a bomb, mine. My Brit init mine count. Maybe we should call this bomb sweeper, just to, you know, to avoid any sort of what would it be, copyright issue. Is MineSweeper part of the public domain? MineSweeper. Who owns MineSweeper? I suppose if I tried to sell Microsoft Studios, first officially released part of the Microsoft Internet, it was, wow, they created it's MineSweeper copyrighted. MineSweeper is free software. You can redistribute it or modify it under the terms of the GNU license. Oh, fascinating. It's under the GNU license. That's good to know. That's good to know. That would be a copyleft license, folks. So copyleft license. That's really, really interesting. You'll have to remember that so it was Linux first. Yeah, it looks like it, by the Free Software Foundation. So that's kind of interesting to think about. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I did not know that. All right, so we're gonna get number mines for each position in our neighbor. We want to say if the neighbor. So we're gonna look at that neighbor in our grid. All right, so grid cell is equal to our grid at neighbor dot row neighbor dot column, and then we just basically need to add it into there. And it would be nice to do a link thing here, but I'm explicitly not using link because I want my students to practice using for loops and for each loops and explicitly writing them out. But I think this would be a great spot to do something with link that would reduce a lot of the nesting that's happening here. I didn't know MineSweeper was Linux software. Jaden just started. I did not know either. I did see it on Windows 3.1. For what it's worth, I have seen it on Windows 3.1. I'm pretty sure that was my exposure to it. We're gonna say cell dot is revealed was should not be the name of this. This should be display state. Oh, I can't call it display state. Maybe I should just move these out of here. This is gonna cause issues, isn't it? Let's undo, is revealed. If I move you here, how much pain is it to move these a little bit? Cell state, and I'm gonna call this cell contents. And we'll call this cell state, cell contents. This should be contents, and this will be state. Okay, let's pop up here. Cell state, cell contents, cell state, cell contents, is revealed. Oh, okay, because I have to fix this. So we're gonna switch this to throw new not implemented exception again here. Monkfishes, I see it was first released in 1989. Ginger says, I thought Linux became a thing in the mid 90s, not 89. So the GNU license GNU came out or was in existence. So there's this interesting thing that GNU is the operating system, Linux is the kernel. I believe GNU came out before Linux, if what I understand, but not Linux. Yeah, so there was this idea of GNU as an operating system. Yeah, it says there were earlier versions back in the 80s. So, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I don't know anything. I'd have to do a little bit more research there. This is me saying like what I believe. I'm not trying to state any facts here because I'm not one of those factoid people. I do happen to have just often know some fun facts, but I'm not a factoid person. Okay. We out here Googling it. Good. My crew out there Googling, finding the answers, the things that need to be known. Okay, so if the cell dot contents dot bomb mine. All right, if the cell dot contents is equal to mine here, cell contents dot mine, then we're gonna do neighbor mines plus. We're gonna increment that. So this, we probably don't need to do this check thing here like that. Yeah, this is where like a link would be really, really nice. But I'm gonna leave it this way for now. This is one way to write it. One of these nice things is you don't have to. All right, in fact, I'm gonna do a private, I'm gonna do a private int count neighbors like this. I think I might have already written this method position like that. And then this just becomes this. And then we return neighbor mines like that. Format this. Did I already write a count neighbors? I did already write count neighbors. Now we got it again, so we can count our neighbors like this. Maybe a lot of these might need to be public methods so that unit testing is super easy. And I kind of like that idea of count neighbor mines. Give it a position, count the neighbor mines. Init mine count here. So this is part of the initialization process. I'm amazed at how much I've written here. I didn't think this was going to be nearly this much code. So for every position, we're going to say int neighbor mines is equal to count neighbor mines position. And then we just update this. We say, okay, well, our grid, we'll pull this out here. So here's check this out. This will be position.row, position.columns. And in fact, we can even do that cell is equal to examine position, because we have that. Ideally, this exists. We examine the position. And then this is gonna, basically we need to update this row column. So this is gonna be position.row, position.column is gonna be equal to the cell, what is it, width can we do this syntax with, and we're just gonna change mines, what is it, neighbor mines? What do they call it? I don't know why I called it that. Neighbor mines should be capital because it's a public member. Neighbor mines is equal to neighbor mines, like this. So with records, you can update them this way. So you don't have to reconstruct the whole thing. You just say, oh, well, it's everything the other one had, except we also set this value. It's weird seeing enums at the bottom of the top. Really, this is me massaging this idea out. Once I'm done with all of this, I'm gonna put them all into separate files. They really need to be all in separate files in my mind. And so this is just me sort of massaging out this idea here. And these might be part of this class here. Yeah, so keep in mind that I have multiple classes here. You shouldn't do that typically. This is just me figuring out what are my interfaces, what is this gonna look like, and then I'm gonna abstract them out into their own files so that they're separate, they're separated out. Okay, so examine should really just be our grid at position.row, position.column, like that. Examine is just look at that cell. It's just a nice little forward there. Reveal is a little bit different. So we gotta first say, generate. After we've generated the grid, then we are going to init mine count. Init mine count. So we gotta generate the grid, then initialize the mine count. These are just some helper methods here. Ooh, that message, that Discord link is expired. Hang on. That's the old Discord link. Where is that coming from? 1 second. Time-based events, join Discord link. Okay, I gotta update that link real quick. So we got a new Discord link just a moment ago. Copy link address. Save. All right, that Discord link's broken, folks. That Discord link's broken. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure, Smab. People seem to be saying that they found versions of it from prior to the existence of Microsoft Windows. I can neither confirm nor deny that at this moment in time. Okay. All right. Here we go. Yeah, so I've written a lot of code without doing any kind of testing. So it'd be good to test this at this point. Let's keep massaging through this thought process. Exam becomes easy. Reveal, if it's not generated, we're gonna generate it like this. And then the idea is we just need to check if it's a bomb. All right, so we're gonna get the cell is equal to examine of that position. And then we're gonna say if cell dot, well, essentially we need to update it. So we're gonna say grid at position.row, position.column is going to be equal to this cell with state equal to revealed. Revealed, cell state dot revealed, like that. And then we need to check whether or not they just blew themselves up. And then we also say if cell dot contents is equal to mine, return. We're basically gonna say like the game state got changed here. State. We'll add this to a private set like this. We're just gonna say that state is equal to blown. State is equal to board state dot blown up. And then we return our state there at the end like that. So we've blown ourselves up at this point. We also need to check whether or not we've basically revealed all the positions. Smab says, I remember, pretty sure it was the creators that ported it for Windows and put it in the entertainment pack. I remember the company not wanting it to on the work machines. Oh, gotcha. That kind of makes sense. I could see that because workplaces don't want people sweeping mines when the company really wants them to be working, right? Monkfish says, wouldn't it be unlike Windows to steal everything and claim they own it? Well, yeah, why not? So how do we know if we've won? If we revealed, and my math is probably gonna be wrong on this. If we've revealed enough positions, and the reveal needs to do like a flood fill thing. It's not just revealing that one spot. We need to reveal all the places next to us as well. So we have to do a flood fill when we reveal a spot, right? If it's 0, we end up doing a flood fill around it as well. Okay, so we set this one spot to fill, and then we sort of need to do if cell dot neighbor mines is equal to 0 to do flood fill. So, oh, this is cool. This is a really cool little project. So you learn a little bit about flood filling, which is essentially a breadth first search. So that's kind of cool. We'll do a flood fill here. We might want to just keep a count of revealed internally. Private int revealed equals 0. I'm kind of amazed that this, you can do a new on a 32, an int 32. That makes sense, but it kind of blows my mind. That's gonna be 0 here. So we need to increase the revealed count when we reveal a thing. Yeah, so our reveal count doesn't really actually increase. Maybe this becomes a property that we can sort of calculate, and maybe we might revealed. We're gonna have this be a get for now, and then this will be like it checks to see how many spaces are revealed. The easiest thing would be to have it loop through all of the spots. The lazy thing, I should say, for each position in positions, cell C equals, and we'll do int revealed equals 0, return revealed. C is equal to examine position. If C dot state is revealed, revealed plus. Okay, we'll return it there. And so basically I can say if it's a mine we blow up, else, so after we've revealed everything else, if revealed is equal to essentially the number that we need, so it should be like rows times columns minus mines, state equals, and I'm gonna have to double check to do double check math on this one, because I don't think this is quite right. It's like there's gonna be an off by 1 error here. I'm almost certain that it's an off by 1 error. Rows times columns minus the mines though feels correct to me, is that we've revealed. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. So rows times columns should get us the total amount of space. So if it's a 1 by 1, we get 1 minus 0, should be 0 mines. All right, so I think if the number that if revealed mines, revealed positions is equal to our size minus mines, then we've won the game. Otherwise, we're just gonna return the state. So we update our state here. There's like a flood fill we have to do here. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. If it was a mine we've blown up, and essentially we should go ahead and at this point reveal all of the mines at this point. Additionally, it's like if we try and reveal and we're already in the blown up state, I'm gonna just put a thing here. If state is equal to board state dot blown up, return board state dot blown up. You can't reveal anything if you're already blown up. If we're already in the win state, we're not going to let you reveal anything else. You just win. And at this point, everything should be revealed. And essentially, when you blow up, we should reveal. We're just going to reveal everything at that point. To do reveal everything. Reveal everything. Just so there's a little some things we have to do here. Flag position. Let's see here. If it's not revealed, if it's not, so we're gonna be alternating unknown and flagged here. Okay. So flag position. The simplest thing to do would be grid at how much longer am I streaming for? I'm going to be streaming for another 40 minutes, Moonness. Thank you for checking. Thank you for checking. Yeah, so our grid here, let me get a cell. Cell is equal to examine position. And then we're going to say if cell sort of like triggers between Sigian says advantage of being a teacher, you can change project and technology every week. Yes, it's actually, I love being a teacher for that reason. You don't get burned out on like sitting on the same project forever, which is definitely a challenge as a software engineer in industry. It's one of the things I actually loved about being a freelancer. Is you got new projects all the time. You're always working on something new. There's always a new project. And I used to be a consultant for essentially for startups and doing unit testing, teaching people how to unit test in Java specifically, but unit test frameworks, that sort of things. So I'm a big believer in that the unit tests are super powerful from a product management standpoint. And so I used to do consulting where I'd go to companies and teach their engineers how to do unit testing well and take their code base that may or may not have any unit test and doing unit testing over their whole project or trying to do unit testing on their whole project. And so my consulting job was to convince basically, CEOs and CTOs that unit testing was worth their time and really save them lots and lots of money in the long run, I believe. All right, so if the cell is revealed, if cell.state is revealed, we just return. We don't do anything if the cell state was already revealed. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to toggle it between unknown and the new cell state. And in fact, this is a great opportunity to get the next cell state. So I'm going to do cell state, next state. We're actually going to just do a switch on the cell dot state here, and we're going to say if it is a revealed should be cell state. Dot revealed. We're just going to stay as a cell state dot revealed. If we happen to be a cell state dot unknown, we're going to toggle to our cell state dot flagged. And if we happen to be a cell state dot flagged, we're going to toggle to our cell state dot unknown. And then we have this other one, this default case. I'm just going to leave it here and have it generate it for me. Because it, for some reason, doesn't want to do it. Not implemented exception like that. And then our cell in our grid at our position.row and position.column is going to be equal to the cell with the new state equal to next state, like that. I think this works. Who knows? Maybe we not know. And in fact, maybe I'll just have it return the cell state like this, which it'll return the new state of that position, and I'll return next state. I kind of like that. Moon is my friend. Thank you for the raid. I was gonna say thank you for the follow. Thank you for the raid. Moon is with the raid, folks. Folks, if you don't know, Moon is incredibly talented indie game developer, software engineer, streamer. You got to give him some love, folks. Got to give him some love. Hit that little heart. Give him some love. Moon is a Unity wizard. That's right, Any Moral Kid. If anyone has been watching me in the past, I have done a lot of Unity development in the past. I'm planning to do more Unity development in the future, but Moon has taught me just about anything, just about everything I know about Unity and more. Moon is, how the heck was your stream, my friend? Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it very, very much. But yeah, how was your stream, my friend? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. It's nice to see you. All right, so our flag position gets our cell, figures out what the next state should be, upstates it, and then returns that cell. Okay. Are there any unimplemented chunks? Yeah, the only unlimited chunks now happen to be our... Sijian says, MonoGame sounds like something died, like XNA or Flash. Did it? Is it still in development? I thought they just released the latest post was, 8 months ago? 1 month ago. Let's go look at it on GitHub. It looked like it's like in semi-active development. On the development branch 8 months ago, January 22nd. So it's not crazy it's not super out of development. I want something that's semi-lightweight. So I was thinking, so Maui was just like way too heavy. I want something that's semi-cross-platform, that doesn't require a huge installation, doesn't require a huge download. So this is pretty straightforward to get up and running. It feels a lot like Pygame, like very, very lightweight, easy to get something on the screen. I kind of like it. That said, I haven't done any real development in it. And so this is gonna be our chance to check it out. And it says, the stream was pretty good. Went to bed last night, so very tired, spent several hours fixing bugs that shouldn't be bugs. Bugs that shouldn't be bugs. They're features. Or are you saying they're features that shouldn't be features, Mooniz? Mooniz says, rebuilt my collision for lift table boxes, movable platforms, and other collisions. Oh, sounds frustrating. I hope that rebuild was worth it and it went well. Daniel of the Dark says, I just cleaned the whole house for my mom and she is very happy. That's very sweet of you. That's so nice of you. Oh, your mom is so lucky. So lucky. If you want to do some more cleaning, feel free to come on by. If you want to come on by and do some more cleaning, Daniel, I got a lot of messes around here to be cleaned up. I was sick all last week, so there's things have been piling up. No, I'm kidding, of course. Not about the mess, but you don't have to come clean for me. But I appreciate the offer. No, I kid. I kid. I kid. Okay. So we got to do a flood fill. We got to reveal everything when we blow up. So we'll just have a little thing that says reveal. So we'll have a public void reveal all. And this is going to loop through every position on the board. So it's going to say for each position in positions. Loop through every position and reveal it. Should be pretty straightforward to do that. For each position in positions, get our cell, examine position, and then we'll do grid at position.row, position.column, lowercase p, position.column is going to be equal to a cell with state equals revealed. So we just loop through every state, we update it so that that state is a revealed state. Pretty straightforward there. When it says bug was mainly because I was not understanding how some new function I had never used before worked. Isn't that always the case? You always have lots of bugs, not lots of bugs, but that's such a culprit of bugs, is using a new a new system that you didn't happen to know the details, didn't know all this stuff. So we're gonna reveal all here. We'll reveal all here. And then I gotta do a flood fill. Flood fill reveal. So we'll do a public void. I'm just gonna make this called a reveal. Yeah, so we need to do a flood fill reveal. If it's 0, we go to all of our neighbors. Flood reveal position. So this is an interesting little recursive algorithm. It's going to be a little interesting recursive algorithm position here. Yeah. So if, all right, so we're going to reveal this position, and then we want to do a flood fill reveal. So flood reveal position. We sort of want to say, okay, we're going to reveal if this position. So let's get the cell here. Oh, this is a nice. This is a perfect little example of recursion too. I like this. Examine the position. We basically are going to reveal this position, and then we're going to say if its position, if it has 0. All right, flood reveal. So we're going to set this position. Essentially, we're going to do this. And really, I don't have to do, I could just do a flood reveal on it like this. We're gonna flood reveal this position. So we still need the cell contents like that. Yeah, flood reveal the position. Let me go back here. I'm thinking through this. We're gonna flood reveal the position. The idea is actually, let's come up here. We'll get this cell, and we're gonna say if the contents is a mine, we blow up. And we're just gonna return state here. So we blow up and we return. Otherwise, we're gonna get that cell position. And we're gonna flood reveal that cell position. No matter what, we're gonna do a flood reveal. And this will make sense in a second on the flood reveal. And we check whether or not the number of revealed things matches. If they are, we reveal all, and then we're gonna return the state at the end here. Lent says, I've been sick all week, so there's a lot of mess to clean up. Ew. Yeah, sorry for the TMI there. I apologize. Moon says, I was using bounds.intersectRay, which is in 2D. However, the ray it took as an argument was in 3D, so the z-values were different. No interaction there. So no intersection there. Ooh, that sounds like probably really tricky to debug too. I bet that was really annoying to debug. Okay, so we're gonna do a flood reveal here. So basically the way the flood reveal, we get this cell, and I don't need to do this now. We get this cell and we reveal it. So no matter what, whatever cell we click, we reveal that cell. And then we say if the cell.count, cell.neighbor mines is equal to 0. So if there are no neighbor mines, if there are no neighboring mines, we actually go to every neighbor position and reveal it. We can safely do this because we know none of the positions are mines. So then we're going to say for each position neighbor in neighbors of our position here. So then we go to every neighbor and we flood reveal that neighbor position. So we have this recursive check here that does that. There's one little thing here. There's one little thing that does anyone see the bug? Does anyone see the bug? Lamster says, Captain, I have a question, no judgment, but how do you like your bean water? How do you like my bean water? Not how do you like it? How do I like my bean water? I like my bean water black, no cream, no sugar. But I typically have so right now I'm drinking, actually right now it's just a French roast, so there's no hints of flavor, but I often will have a coffee that has a tinge, a little hint of something. So I like a cinnamon coffee. French, I've done like a French vanilla, not my favorite, but like French vanilla or vanilla bean. And then the other one that the one I really like is Don Francisco's butterscotch toffee coffee. Black, no sugar is my favorite, but usually with like a hint of something. And mostly I like that just for the smell. You don't taste it all that much, but the aroma. The aroma, especially when you first open up those coffee grounds, that aroma hits you. It's delicious. It's beautiful. We have a bug here. Does anyone see the bug? There's an annoying, not an annoying bug. There's a little tricky bug that we gotta keep track of here. Does anyone see the problem with this recursion? Does anyone see the problem with this recursion? There's something that we're missing. There's something that we're missing. Bean water. What we're talking about? Delicious brewed bean water. You take up those beans, you grind them up into a fine powder. Then you put them into like a filter, and then you run hot water over it. And you get yourself a nice cup of delicious bean water, caffeinate you, give you the energy you need. Have you heard of swamp water? Code Red Games says, yes, it's made from green tea. Jaden Dresser says, is there any difference between bean water and soda? Do you use regular beans instead of coffee beans? No, I use coffee beans. No base case, but you're not always calling it. Let me think. You're right, any mortal kid, that's exactly right. There's no base case here. There's no stop. We're gonna end up with a Stack Overflow. So we need a base case here that basically says if we've already revealed a position, don't reveal it again. So we're gonna say if our cell dot state is revealed already, don't do anything. Don't check the neighbors. We've already revealed it. We're done. We don't have to do it. We know we've revealed it. There's nothing else we need to do. Sidian asks, Ludum Dare in 13 days. Will anyone join? Let me look. How long is it? Ludum Dare. How long is this one? Ludum Dare triple format, 48 hour. The jam is 72 hours. 72 hours. Do I want to do the Ludum Dare in 13 days? I haven't decided. I do like these. If it's a weekend one, I can often do it, but I'll limit myself to like 12 hours. So for me, it would be like a very limited jam is if you have a team. Compo is solo. Compo is solo. So I'd probably do it solo from scratch as much as is reasonable and share your source code. I usually like a 48-hour jam. I would probably have to limit. I might do it. I had so much fun on this last jam that I think I might do it. It's interesting that the jam is longer. It's interesting that the jam is longer. I don't really extra 3-week deadline. That's too much. That's it. More people. Yeah, that makes sense. You can do the jam solo as well. Yeah, we'll see. I might do it. I just don't know what my schedule is going to be like then. Since I just started a new term, I don't know where I'm going to be at with stuff. I would like to do a Ludum Dare, but I just haven't. Adam Eunice definitely does it. Yeah. Moon is. Are you planning to do it? Oh, you're going to a wedding. So no, you're probably not doing it then. That's what it means. All right, so I think we have our base case here. Flood reveal blown up. Okay, I think we have our first draft of this. All right, folks, we got our first draft here. I'm gonna pull this out into separate files here, and then we're gonna write some tests. So I have my cell. All right, so this would be our cell here. And so this should be in our namespace captaincoder.minesweeper. And then we'll create a new file here. And these are our enums. Board state, cell contents. New file, board state. Part of me feels like maybe this should be all part of that. Here, let's do a namespace again. Namespace captaincoder.minesweeper. Cell state. Namespace captaincoder.minesweeper. And our cell content. Create new file, cell contents, like that. Last namespace captaincoder.minesweeper. Let's do this builds.net build. I missed a lot of stuff in the chat here a little bit. Edmond said that's better than doing it and not going to your own wedding. That makes sense. Moona says, well, I still have Saturday morning, Sunday, and Monday. So is that a yes? Is that a yes, Mooniz? Are you going to do it? Jaden Joestar says, I'm not doing it. I want to polish the game I've been making for the past 2 weeks. That's fair. That's fair. I also want to polish up the my dungeon crawler entry at some point. I think my dungeon crawler has a lot of potential. It's just really confusing. And Mark says, make your game about weddings and then give it to the wedding party as a gift, Mooniz. That's a good idea. Moon is replying to Anna Murdoch says, except that jam starts 3 a.m. on Saturday for me and wedding is at like 5 p.m. So no part of the game will be done by then. You just got to get good, Mooniz. You got to get good. Get snappy. Get going on it. Get it done. Get it done. Sid Jean says, once I took 22nd place in the innovation of 2,500, but it was not even a game. Fascinating. That's really high placement out of 2,500. Moonis, it depends on my team wants me, even though I'm gone for half the day. Monkfish, is there asking Immortal Kid, is there a theme for the Ludum Dare? There usually is, but it's revealed when the jam starts. Yeah, it's announced when the competition starts. Ginger Star says, I tried playing the Dungeon Crawler. It would be better if you had smooth camera decisions so people like me aren't confused by the instant 90-degree turn or one tile walk. Maybe. I think it needs to have a checkbox for it. A checkbox for it. I don't like smooth transition Dungeon Crawlers. It just hurts my soul to have it. But I made some poor decisions in choosing not to have it. I think it hurt us by not having it. There's a couple things that hurt us by not having it. I need it. Are you back, internet? I'm waiting for you to come back. Oh, look, is my internet back? It looks like we're back. We back? My internet completely died there for a moment. It didn't like when I clicked this run game. Let's see if it dies again. There it goes. All right, so we did do oh, there it goes. Made with Unity. So I shot myself in the foot on a couple things on this project. The intro is just there's way too much text. There needs to be a skip text option. There's a lot of text. The text isn't bad, but there needs to be a skip text option. So I shot myself in the foot there. There's just way too much text and it's confusing at the top. So there was a lot of text and people just started skipping the text. So they didn't read that instructions, which basically says you have to click this. And then they got to this screen and they're like, why can't I move anywhere? What the heck's going on? And really the guy is saying, your necromancer mentor is saying, press the button. Press the button is what they're saying. This needed to be faster. This needed to be much faster because it was really confusing that you had to wait for that to be finished to step away. So shot myself in the foot big time on that. There's no built-in minimap. I needed to make it so that so there is instant movement. You'll notice the movement's instant, which confused a lot of people. With the positioning of the camera, you're actually on the back of the tile. You're pushed back a little bit on the tile so you could actually see around corners like that. The idea is you want to be able to see around. If you were in the center of the tile, you wouldn't be able to see this wall here. You wouldn't be able to see this corner here. And so it's really, really common to put yourself slightly back in the tile on dungeon crawlers, but this sort of disoriented people. I wanted you to be able to occupy the same space as things. I didn't want you to, so otherwise you wouldn't be able to like move into this space with it. So I wanted you to be able to occupy the same tile. Not having the smooth transitions really bothered a lot of people. I should have just added it to the menu. I don't think it would have been hard to add it to the menu. To make smooth transitions. I personally dislike smooth transitions in dungeon crawlers. It's super anti dungeon crawler in my mind. But that's just me. So that was a little bit. Okay, I needed to make it so you couldn't go through this portal without having acquired the appropriate skills. So it wasn't, I needed to add a little thing that made it obvious that you needed to click on this statue to take the rune. All right, so you take the rune, and then I needed to have a sort of tutorial that taught you how to use it. So you can cast light now. And this was just like really confusing that you cast light, having it so that these spells consumed the light. So after you cast light, you have to cast again. That needed to not exist. So I really made the game way too confusing. Way too confusing. I Can Meme over on YouTube says, I have a video idea. Try to make MineSweeper 2.0. What is MineSweeper 2.0? Yeah, so I needed to make the runes like kind of glow or something to like draw your eye to it. There needed to be something to draw your eye over it. So there's a lot of stuff here that I could clean up. If anyone wants to check it out and be horribly confused by this game, feel free to do so. Welcome home, Lance. Enjoy your sleep, my friend. As always, keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be, and you are welcome back anytime, my friend. But the game was just really confusing. People who figured it out said they really enjoyed it. Yeah, so the text is a little bit important, but the text needs a button that you really the text needs to be that if you click, it shows all the text, and then there's a button here. So I needed to make it so you could click a button so the whole text would show up, so you could click it. People didn't know you could click on these, and these would give you information about what to do. It was just the whole figuring out the controls was really hard. Really hard and awkward in this game. I Can Meme says, that's for me to decide regarding to MineSweeper 2.0. It's for me to decide. Yeah, so I think that could be a fun little extension to it. So I'm making this MineSweeper game as an exercise for my students. So I teach computer science and programming. It's not an introductory class, it's sort of like an intermediate C# class, where we're learning about a little bit about object-oriented programming, but essentially creating new projects for students to do in C# that introduce some more intermediate and not necessarily advanced topics. It was also confusing that when you start, you can only be in sun mode or moon mode. I wanted the game to be so you had to be in sun mode or moon mode. So it was unclear. This was something that was really confusing. I also needed to make it so that this mini map, I really needed to have a little button you click to open the mini map. That's really what I needed so that people could use it. Is it like the Sun Moon dungeon in Wind Waker? I'm not familiar with Wind Waker, unfortunately. There are two different areas to explore. So there's this sun area, and it was not obvious to people. A lot of people struggled here. When you move in this area, if there's a blinding light, you take damage in this area with this blinding light, unless you cast this moon spell, which a protective shade surrounds you. So the idea is you have this shade. There's also this float spell that lets you float over the spikes. So it was just, all the controls were really confusing. People really, when they figured it out, they really enjoyed it, from what I understand. People told me they really enjoyed this game once they figured it out, I think. Let me look here. I need to go down this way. Okay. So down here is where you get, so you're collecting these runes. That's the wrong spell. It was just really confusing for people, unfortunately. But once you figured out the spell system is pretty obvious, maybe not. Once you figured out the spell system, it's more obvious what to do. So you come in here, you collect this yin rune. this allows you, so the idea was to make it a little bit of an exploration and puzzly, trying to solve what's going on. So I need to go up this way. So once you have this, there's another one you can get over here. Let's go get this other one too. This again is a little bit confusing. Yeah, so you didn't grow up doing this. So you're absolutely right. In the options, I needed to make an option, and this was just me being dense, or whatever you want to call it, me being annoying, and saying like, well, classic dungeon crawler should have this type of movement. I should have added a smooth transition to it. I should have added a smooth transition, and I kind of wanted to add it to the options, but it was one of those things where like ran out of time a little bit. Figuring out how to stop these pressure plates was a little confusing to people as well. But you come in here, you get these, you collect all the runes. Okay, so once you have these runes, you can use those to go to the next section of the game. So when you have these runes, if you use the yang, you can sort of channel your energy into this portal. And this lets you enter the portal. And now we've actually learned, let me actually get my fireball spell ready. There's a skull, you can see these eyes glowing over here, if you look here. If people made it this far, they actually really enjoyed it. I think, so people who made it this far actually told me that this was a really enjoyable experience. But we have a fireball spell now. But it was like this thing where you have to summon souls. Like, I need to get rid of that. You shouldn't have to have the light on, so you can shoot these fireballs down. All right, and so there's this skull monster that you have to fight. And the skull monster will shoot you if you're not careful. The one thing I didn't realize is you could just sort of spam this attack and rip through it very, very quickly. So there was a lot. There's a lot in this game, but it was just confusing. Several people made it all the way through and said they really, really enjoyed it, but getting past that initial part is a major, major challenge. And you'll notice, like, there are ways to manage this. You can or you just mean just get to fireball faster? Yeah, I think I needed to get there faster. So there's a fireball, and then there's also an ice ball. So there's an ice ball spell as well. So there's a fireball spell, there's an ice spell. Different enemies are affected by fire differently. But I'll show you this next section too. We'll play through it a little bit more, but I'm just loading up my fireball and my yin and fireball power a little bit more. These guys are weak to it, but you can like control. You get to a point where you can kind of control where your balances are. It looks like, oh, there we go. So there's actually two skulls in this area. So there's a skull down here, and then there's another skull that you have to fight. So this is like a more challenging area. I forgot to summon my fireball. Come on, give me a fireball. Uh-oh, you guys are gonna get me. But you lose concentration. Oh, I want to do this spell. So it's a little bit of a challenge here. But I did not realize you could just spam this fireball and like wreck these guys super, super bad. Oh boy. But yeah, people said it was disorienting, which is fair. I agree, it is a bit disorienting. But we defeated that skull. We'll defeat this skull next. All right, so this area, we have some skulls, and by defeating the skulls, you can actually come in here and take the next rune. All right, so there's more runes. Let's get back to the entrance here. Like so. I think maybe having a portal to a training ground. So really in Immortal Kid, it needs to, this is why I'm saying, like, I really, really need to go through and polish this up, because I think it's really good. The game needs to start a little bit easier. So I have an idea for, like, you're in a dream, where you acquire this sort of harmony rune, and then we need a section where you sort of learn how to use the sun rune independent of anything. So like you move and it's like, here, cast the sun rune, learn a little bit of magic with the sun rune. Oh, cast the sun rune. Oh, float over this pit by casting float, and you float over it. So we need to ease the player in. The game starts and you have 3 runes and 5 spells, and it's confusing. The spells need to be one directional as well. So sort of making it so that you can go this direction, and then having to resummon this light ball is annoying, or that direction was really confusing for people. They said, so having the spells go either direction was a mistake. I need to fix that. Let me balance myself out here. I'm going to charge up my yin energy here. Oh, I knew this game wasn't too easy. I just sort of like ran out of time. All right, so then there's sort of like this puzzle area here. So there's these things that you can, using the fireball spell. You can use the fireball spell to light these, and then when they're lit, they shoot energy beams out. So you can rotate these. So there's a little puzzle you have to solve here by shooting these pedestals. So if I light this real quick, let's shoot the fireball here. These, when you stand on these platforms, shoot little energy balls out. And so you have to rotate these to point in the correct direction, and do it that way. Yeah, so it actually, there is a spell book that does, as they slowly unlock, they show you what to do. But it was just learning that mechanic initially was just a little bit too much for most people. Which is fine. The game, I didn't mean to run into my own energy ball there. So then there's this area here. These slowly unlock doors. This area this sort of needed to be maybe an earlier area where you use light to unlock it. You can't go through this. This will hurt you. But yeah, I think I needed, it was just not an intuitive game at all. Did I open that? I'm not sure. Did I light that one over there? We'll go find out real quick. But yeah, there was a lot in this. There's a lot of content sort of here. Quite confusing. Did I not? Oh, I rotated it, but I didn't light it. So we gotta light it. Like that. And so I think this game totally deserves some love to get it fixed up to be a little bit more playable and approachable, especially because the music, the composer in this is so good. So there's a lot going on here. This puzzle here, we have to put a moon ball here. That was the wrong one. Got to put a moon ball here. And then once the moon ball is there, hold it in place and you can rotate it so that it shoots. If you're standing on the platform, it stops it and you take damage. So you actually have to put a moon ball on that platform to be able to finish this puzzle. So the puzzles in this section do slowly progress. They're just confusing. The spell system's interesting and confusing. Some people said they loved it, but I do think it needs to be sort of simplified. So like the fact that I have to do this before I can shoot a fireball is just an annoying thing. Ooh, that was bad. So there's just like some annoying things about it. Cheap Grams, are you gonna keep working on it? I can help with lore. We have a ton of lore actually for it. My plan, I do think I'm gonna finish it. I do think I'm gonna, what I say is gonna clean it up a little bit after the game jam. There's a mirror dungeon in Zelda with similar mechanics. Yeah, so I really felt good about this. All right, so now we have, there's also 2 more runes that didn't get added to the game due to time constraints. But the idea was to add 2 more elements. All right, so now that we're here, we can actually go, so there's 2 bosses. So there's the light. So you can actually come and face. You face this. Yeah, the itch background is AI generated. So the sun deity, you can fight the sun deity. You can fight the moon deity. So you can fight the moon deity. Or you can free the necromancer from purgatory. So you can actually do a spell that frees the oh, is it this way? What's the spell that frees the necromancer? Hang on, there's a spell here. Body. Oh. What is it? Body, sun, yin, harmony. Oh, I messed that up. Body, sun, yin, harmony. Yang, moon, mind. Body, sun. There we go. So you can free the necromancer here to do it. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of really, really cool ideas here. This game deserves to get polished up, and then you can kill the necromancer, and that's, you know, that's the end of the game, is you freed the necromancer, and that's the whole thing. So there was a lot of really, really good stuff going on in this game. Deserves a little bit of love to be massaged into something that's a little bit more approachable, a little bit more playable. It didn't quite get there. Sorry that the music is, I have like retro music playing over this amazing ambiance here. But yeah, feel free to check it out. It's super, super confusing. Yeah, so it's super, super confusing to get started. People who managed to get past an initial annoyance said they really enjoyed. Listen to this music. Oh my god, the composer did such a good job on this. Such creepy, great music. Here, let me turn it up. So good. And each area has its music. It's so close to being something really, really playable. So I would like to go back to it once I have my classes figured out. After the game jam ends, I plan to come back to it. I just needed to get away from it. The music was made for the game is so, so good. Oh, I didn't mean to go to start. I wanted to be able to go to each area. Yeah, delve back into it would be good. All right, I'm gonna call it here. Okay, folks. All right, folks. Thank you for listening to me ramble here. Thank you for listening to me rambling on. I'm gonna hop off here. My voice, I'm still recovering. I got a little bit of a nasal thing going on, so I apologize if I sound weird. I'm sorry I didn't do as much singing as I normally do. My throat's a little dry. I'm still recovering from my sickness, but we're gonna hop off here. We did finish the first draft. here. I forgot to mark it off here. But we did finish a basic MineSweeper here, folks. And so for being here to witness that, and I apologize I didn't do this earlier, 50 points to all of you for being here to witness that momentous occasion. We're gonna do a quick commit. Get status, get add, get status, get commit, feature, implement, first pass of board.
Whoa.
Tani, that's right. Whoa, my friend. So folks, this is available on GitHub. If you want to go check out the source code, if you want to follow along with what we're doing, feel free to do so. Where is this? This is going to be on MonoSweeper. MonoSweeper, folks. If you want to follow along, if you want to get a copy of this, you can. All the source code I do here on stream is essentially open source. Available for you to look at and learn from. I hope we learn and code and grow together, folks. If you're not on the Discord, I'd love to have you. I know there are a million Discords, but feel free to join the Discord. Happy to have you there, where we have a nice little community, folks. We have a nice little community of awesome people asking questions, sharing their projects. If you're a streamer, let me know. I love knowing be able to catch you. But we're gonna hop off here because I am still recovering. I gotta keep my voice fresh. But I will be back tomorrow, same time, 8 a.m. Eastern time, folks. I shall return. We shall be working on MineSweeper a little bit more then. As always, keep coding, keep crowing, be the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime, but we're gonna find someone to raid. Let's see who we got here. We're gonna go raid ITC Studios, folks. We're gonna raid ITC Studios. If you don't know ITC Studios is an amazing indie game developer and pixel artist. She's working on a 2D action adventure RPG called Anomaly. Amazing pixel art, folks. Give her some love. Hit that little follow button. And, you know, if you need more, we're going to go hop over to ITC Studios. As always, folks, you are welcome back anytime. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time.